Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. The home, I should say, of the vastest reservoir of salty cuck lawyer tears on the planet. I've set up rain gutters and giant vats, and I'm just collecting salty boy lawyer tears from all over the country. And you couldn't ask for anything more than a bunch of whiny, overeducated, bored men to come in and complain that you're doing something that they're not. And how horrible it is. Oh, it's so mean and awful, and he's so rude, and he's making us look bad. Well, good. Actually, you didn't need much help, but you know, we're working on it. We're working on it. Anyway, with me today is a very special guest who I always love having on the show, Mr. Doug TenNapel, creator of Earthworm Jim. Doug, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, so good. How can you live with yourself, counselor? How? How can you do that? You have to look in the mirror. You're making us all look bad, all us lawyers.
I spend my entire night looking directly into my face. I have a lot of practice looking in the mirror.
Yeah, a lot of practice seeing the reflection of you. How can you live with yourself? So you're getting crybabied and poo-pooed on by lawyers.
Oh man, you know what they're mad about? Get this. Yesterday I got fan mail, as I call it, and my artist lovingly calls it.
That's what I call it too when I get all my hate mail. Like, I have it in a folder on my desk called fan mail. It's my greatest hits.
For me, the fan mail comes directly from the Lawyers Professional Responsibility Board. And it's the ethics complaints that I get from people that I've never met, will never meet, have never represented anyone opposed to, and never would, because they're in different states or different countries or whatever. So I get these things in which someone decides to go after my job. Someone that I have no impact on their life. Absolutely zero, because they never, ever, ever have to turn on my show. They never have to click on YouTube. Not once. And if they do click on YouTube, they certainly don't have to click on Rekieta Law. Although everyone should, and should like and subscribe and all of that fun stuff, of course.
Correct. And share the link.
Yes.
So Nick, is this just like I'm on Twitter, and people who hate me, they come after me, and they try and strike your Twitter account to get it down, right? They try and give you they flag you. So I go, man, when I grow up and I become a lawyer, no one in the legal profession would ever do that to me. Is this just the legalese version of the Twitter try to destroy someone, but it's actually your career instead of just a lame Twitter account?
Well, the people sending the ethics complaints are typically not lawyers. The only lawyer who did was Maddox's lawyer, Kevin Landau. No. So this is just some random guy. Actually, I had never heard of this guy. I may have had an offhanded interaction with him on Twitter, and I think people get kind of a skewed perspective. But when you have a very active Twitter, I get tons of notifications a day. So if I have a random interaction with someone who I don't interact with frequently, I probably am not going to remember the screen name unless it's something particularly witty. And this is not one of my supporters, so I'm certainly going to forget if I ever interacted with this person. I don't know if I ever did, but apparently some of my supporters were arguing with him, and that made him feel really bad. So he decided to file an ethics complaint against me with the Lawyers Professional Responsibility Board, and he lied a whole lot in that ethics complaint.
I hate it when they do that. Yeah,
but of course the professional response, first of all, he did it wrong. He didn't send them an official complaint. He sent them an email. And that's not how you do it. And they asked him for clarification and to follow up with an appropriate complaint, and he did not. So they just sent me his email and said, well, we're not doing anything with this. So here's my policy. When I get one of those ethics complaints, I go and I read it. I read it out loud, right, to everybody. Because if you're going to go after someone's career because of a hurt feeling on the internet, I don't see any reason why I should have to not share that. It's not like this is not a client I screwed over. This is not some attorney that I like did some unethical thing to in the course of litigation, right? This is someone on the internet who gets mad that I make videos that they don't like.
Yeah.
I owe no duty to these people.
So you're not being libelous, or you're not slandering anybody. It's nothing like that. You're not calling people to get them or anything. You're just stating you're just reading what was sent to you.
I
Is
tell
that
people,
public? Is that considered okay to share in public, or is it like this is private?
It's mine. So it's whatever I want to do with it.
Okay.
It's the lawyer's responsibility board keeps it confidential. It would be up to me to disclose it.
Okay.
So I do. That's what I do. I've done it with every single complaint I've gotten. I will continue to do so. There's nothing unethical about it. I specifically say, like, don't bother these people or anything like that. But just here it is. Here's what this person said about me, and let's all have a laugh about it. Because what else are we supposed to do with this? With people actively trying to ruin your career, what do you do other than you have to laugh at it? I guess, right?
Yeah. Use it for entertainment. That what the devil intended for evil, you will repurpose for good.
Oh, Doug, you're very dangerous here, because this is what the lawyers are mad that I do or did yesterday. They're very mad. They said that was very unethical of me to put this random guy on blast, who again attempted to put me on blast in a way that would end my licensure. If he had any merit to his claims. So they're very salty. But if you stray into the idea that you're giving me a moral impetus,
yeah, I'm saying it's moral, and I wonder what kind of guy stays up all night just not being okay with you doing your thing.
Don't know.
What can you imagine? What kind of life that guy lives? Where his biggest, his most important thing he did that day was to file that thing to this ethics committee. That was his big. He spent hours.
It's a very weird thing, because just was a Tyler the Creator. Just turn off the screen. Just put your phone away. Walk away from it. And again, it's important. Like, I'm not targeting this person. I don't even know who it is.
Yeah.
And
but he's watching this show right now.
Well, I hope so. I like to have more viewers, so I'm always happy when people decide to tune in.
Now, I know this isn't your opinion. This is my opinion. But if he is watching the show right now, there's probably about 800 severed Barbie doll heads mounted to the wall behind him. That's what I picture in my little art mind.
How would you mount a severed Barbie doll head? What medium would you use? Like a nail gun, a finishing nail, a thick nail? Would you use glue?
I see it as he's very careful, very methodical about it, very thorough about it, something very professional, because these severed Barbie doll heads are very important to him. So probably some kind of professional hanger, maybe mounted to little frames, and he has them all perfectly lined up, and he readjusts them every day. This is important to him.
The insects, like people who collect the dead bugs.
Yeah, he
with like one of those pins in there.
Pins it
right in the forehead. That's what I would do.
Not allegedly. I'm just saying, this is my little imagination. I'm just using my free speech to see what I see.
Yeah, that free speech.
I see purple. I see purple wallpaper.
That free speech thing is that's a very tricky thing. It's a very tricky thing. Some people think lawyers don't have it. Oh, we have it in spades, baby.
Yeah. Free speech is a bitch.
It really is. It really is. So we're here. You're here to talk first. We're gonna open up talking some Earthworm Jim. Your campaign is coming along magnificently. You're crushing it, buddy. It's wild.
300, and I asked for a $12,000 raise, and I've got 366,000. And by the way, a bunch of these guys are from your audience, so I love the Ricada audience, and I'm going to tell them a good story.
Oh yeah, you better. You better. No, I'm
Oh
just kidding.
no, the pressure's on. But look at this. Look
I've
at
got
this.
it pulled up here. Hold on, just don't pull any. I've got a window over our thing
okay.
with the GoFundMe first. So here it is. It's the Earthworm Jim, the comic book. It's at 366.23 right now. You can see kind of some of the workups on the cover and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Tons of pictures, classic art, classic story. You've been unlocking bonus stuff like crazy.
Freebies.
Yeah,
Look, we did a set of trading cards for the first time ever. There's never been Earthworm Jim trading cards. I did a full 90 card set. 10% of them will have original signatures on them by the original Shiny team. All 10 members. We're doing bios on them. I'll be putting original art in, and if you get a gold card, then you can get an original page of the comic book. But I also there's a second book called The Making of Earthworm Jim, where I go back and I'm documenting in a 98-page hardbound book the entire history of how the team found each other, and then how I ended up creating Earthworm Jim and what happened after our release. And the photography is by Dave Perry, the programmer of the game. So I'm really proud of the book, but it's mostly I'm frustrated. Like, imagine if the rights to one of your most important characters from the early 90s, you were never able to do the book. And then after doing comics for 20 years, the rights dropped back on your lap. That's what happened.
It's magic.
I'm thrilled to get to do this book. So, and I'm working really hard on it.
I'm thrilled to get mine.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for it. So again, go check out Earthworm Jim on Indiegogo. Did you want to? I removed the window. So do you want to show anything that you have?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've got like a original pages here. So this is what I've been inking, and you can see I'm doing something kind of different in that I'm doing ink washes. So this is Psychro sitting next to Jim in a honky tonk.
I am never going to understand how, because I've watched you do like the ink washes, and it's almost like a watercolor effect.
Yeah. Yep. I use a different ink, and I can water it down to different degrees.
And I watched you apply that, and it just goes where it's supposed to, which makes me want to die. Because if I tried to put watery ink on a page, I'd be Rorschach testing or whatever.
Yeah, it's part of also the pleasure of doing inks, though, is there's a little bit of a loss of control, and you're letting physics take over, and it gives it a natural look when part of it's under your control and some of it flows in an area where you're not fully under control. So that's kind of part of the spell you cast with you doing art. Some things you want to look accidental, then they look like nature.
Yeah. Well, are you saying nature's an accident, Doug? That doesn't sound like you.
No, it's totally entirely top down dictated by a good God. But even he has gravity working and physics and all kinds of stuff. Wonderful things are going.
Made a whole bunch of stuff to let it all happen.
Made stuff, let it happen. Some things he puts his finger on, something he's got to be letting go. I don't know how it works. He doesn't entirely break out his plan for me and tell me,
So when does this campaign end, and when does the book go to print?
Okay, we have 10 days left in the campaign. And
That's 10 days?
10 days. Might be 9.
Guys.
And this is not going to go in stores. This is only for the insane Earthworm Jim fans. Get this thing. And then what's cool is, so my last book, Bigfoot Bill, which you supported also, and I thank you, and a ton of your fans, your chat did too. If they buy 2 books and they sell one on eBay, it should cover the cost of both books. So it's like getting a free book. So Bigfoot Bill, we sold those books also for $25. And these aren't crummy little floppy comic books. These are hardbound, 9-inch by 12-inch. I'm a book. My art form is a bookmaster. Hold on, let me go get you a book.
Here. Yeah, I was looking to see if I had one close by, but it's out in a different room.
So when I say it's a $25 comic, I mean this is a hardbound book with gold leafing and embossing and debossing. And these are big and thick. So this is a 9 by 12 huge, like a coffee table book. And this Bigfoot Bill, Earthworm Jim, is 65 pages longer, so it's even thicker. But you can see like 2 colors of gold leafing on the front. It's like your fancy Warhammer books.
You heard it, guys. It's Bigfoot Bill was great, but Earthworm Jim is bigger, longer, and thicker.
Bigger, longer, thicker, more
Hide your
flesh,
girlfriends. Hide your
more-
girlfriends.
more flesh colored than Bigfoot Bill. So this is the art form that I'm obsessed with, is making killer, crazy, over the top books. And with $360,000, we can make a obscenely huge, amazing book. So
Yeah, I can't wait to see what it looks like. I love my wife loves and I love clearly the look of a book on a shelf. I don't really like paperbacks or things that aren't going to last. I love the leather bound books. I love faux leather bound books, the embossing and the debossing. It adds something to it where someone looks at it and goes, what is that? And they pull it off the shelf, and then it's Earthworm Jim.
And then it's a big, dumb, goofy comic about a space worm in a super suit.
And you're like, oh, this is cool. This must be like some important philosophical text. And you're like, actually, it is.
Yeah. So these Bigfoot Bill books, I sold them. I give them to my backers for a $25 backing. And the making of is another $25. That'd be $50. But these go on eBay right now, if you look them up, for $200 a piece.
Oof.
Like, that is just because I don't sell them in stores. There's no barcode on the back to put them in booksellers. I'm only loyal to my Indiegogo people. They're my only audience I care about. There's 4,000 right now. Any of you guys that want to join my audience, I'd love to tell you stories. And we're giving away free packs of trading cards, and I just want people to experience something very entertaining for the money they pay, and I reinvest a very high percentage into this art form. It's what I'm obsessed with.
It shows. The book looks great. Well, Bigfoot Bill looks great. The proposed book for Earthworm Jim looks great. I can't wait to see what it ends up being. Let's see. Oh, the cards. You've got that was like the new. You mentioned the cards. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Sure. They're trading cards, and they're based on. I don't know. You might be a little young for this, but I was raised on trading cards like from the late '60s called odd rods. They're these kind of Big Daddy Roth hot rod cars. There's wacky packages. Garbage Pail Kids.
Oh yeah, I remember Garbage Pail Kids.
So I'm modeling this whole 90 card set after those. So there's like a sticker in there. Each pack comes with 3 cards and a sticker. And they'll just have like facts on the back about Earthworm Jim, cheat codes, bios of the team, has the checklist, and the 9-piece puzzle you can put together and all that. But this is my favorite thing, Nick. This is my favorite thing. At the end, in the third act of the Earthworm Jim story, spoiler, they go to heck, right? So just like the Evil the Cat, what the heck level? I don't know if you remember the bad guys in Heck, but in the video game, they were lawyers.
Well, that makes sense.
It was all lawyers in there. So even in this story, when you get to Heck, it's all these guys in briefcases who are just the most evil-looking, sinister guys are manning Heck. So I think there might be something that you and Ty might enjoy in there also. I might even throw a nod to you and have a bucket of lawyer tears.
Oh, that would be good.
Right in the corner of a panel. Bucket of lawyer tears cried over Ricada. How's that? Would that be a fitting tribute? Would that turn you on?
I would be honored.
Would that give you a lawyer erection?
A law erection, please.
A law erection. Yeah.
I would be honored and humbled to be included in that way.
I will write it in now. And that'll be our little secret, your audience, my secret. But we were talking just before this show off the air that we get to do this.
Yeah.
Like
hold on, Doug, you get to sound like a robot for a minute. Just a second. Your internet's lagging.
Cable.
Oh, we're almost there. I think I'm losing you. Oh man, we'll have to see when Doug gets back. Oh, are you with me, Doug?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you like for the past 30 seconds you've been gone.
I was roboing.
Yeah, roboing. Couldn't hear it. So you were saying,
is that my internet or maybe my computer's farting?
Well, it's not my fault.
Well, yeah. If it happens again, if I see it start to freeze up, I'll jump out and jump back in.
Okay, but go back. You were saying we get to do this. That's where we
Oh
lost
yeah, we
you.
get to do this. Is we were saying off the air that you get to sit in your studio and tell and do this show and
Right.
have all kinds of fun with this show. And I get to sit in my studio and draw all day, and that is my lifelong dream. It's finally, hitting, and to get to have my career paid for by my backers is amazing. So this is, I just feel privileged and lucky,
And
and
it's
like I'm ripping the universe off.
it's crazy because you've been creating projects, your whole career,
Yeah,
but now you get to directly interact with the consumer in a way that was never possible.
never. And I know all my backers' names. It's much more intimate in that they expect a lot more. Like I do the live tutorials on my show. I draw on my show as much as I can, so that just so they can see the process. And so it's way more transparent. Where before, you work with a publisher and then they distribute them all out to all these stores, and you don't meet those fans unless I go do a book signing. But with the internet and with crowdfunding, they're directly making this thing happen. So it's
Yep.
like it's like a patronage system, almost the old school, the patron arts.
Well, we finally get to decide what we want to buy.
Yeah,
Not what someone wants to sell us.
yeah,
We get to decide what we want to buy, because if you want to buy it enough, someone's going to make it, and
yeah.
not have to go through a gatekeeper or some Shark Tank show or some weird thing. That was like, although I shouldn't knock those. Those were the precursors to crowdfunding. Was the
Absolutely.
idea that there would be an entertainment industry created around the selection and gatekeeping process.
Yeah.
And that was the step to eliminating the gatekeeping process for so many things. But
Well, they blew it when they gave us a TV show, Nick, and that's what they're paying for. When they give you a super chat, you put on a show for free, and they have it's almost like a subscription or a thank you, is that they pay you in super chats. My audiences buy my book, and it's like their thank you to me for telling stories. But I never got to tell this story, is what was driving me crazy. So now I'm just like a bat out of hell, just having a blast.
yeah, well, it's a good time. It's a good time to be interneting and alive and all of that stuff.
We're lucky, but are they gonna shut this crap down? Are they gonna I hear they're gonna open up another app. Google is, or something, for live stream. Have you
I
heard
have no
about that?
idea. I haven't heard anything about it. I hope not.
I'm hearing stuff like that.
But we'll see. I mean, that's the interesting thing is we exist as we are, and we exist partly at the mercy of other people. Still, there's always a gatekeeper, because just reaching the potential to reach millions of people is extremely expensive, and the way that they do that is by spreading out that reach to make it available for everybody, and then monetizing it. So we're at some level of mercy no matter where we go. We always will be, because it's just not plausible to do this on your own.
Yeah, yeah.
But as long as I'm able to, I'm going to enjoy doing it.
They let a cat out of the bag, Nick. Let's get back to you. Thanks for plugging Earthworm Jim. I appreciate it, brother.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm genuinely excited. So final thing, guys. 9 days left on that book. If you learned from the Bigfoot Bill campaign, or didn't learn, hopefully you did. Once that book is done, it goes to print, and it's done. There isn't a way to get another one. He cannot do one-off prints later. The amount of effort and in the production of the book from are you using the same publisher?
Yeah. Printed in America. What I do, I am, so the first Bigfoot Bill printing, this book will never exist again in this form. I am going to do another printing of the material, but it's going to be a combination of Bigfoot Bill and the making of into one big, like 160-page book. And that'll be next year when I release Bigfoot Bill 2. Because if I want to keep expanding the audience, I have to do some kind of a printing. I just want the first printing to always be completely unique, so there's none other like it. And then if I do a second printing, I will do a different design for the cover and different colors and different everything, just so that first printing is always the killer one.
I just want to impress on people that if you're looking to, I do this all the time, where I want to get something and I'm like, well, I'll get it later or whatever. I'm I'm so badly transparent at high pressure sales.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that here. I'm just letting you know that you have 9 days. Don't
The day
miss
this
it.
campaign closes, it'll go into a store mode, but there'll be a bunch of tiers that won't be available. The day this store closes, I get bombed with emails going, "Can I get a book? Can I get a book?" And I just go, "You'll have to wait till next year if I open another campaign and do another printing."
Right. So,
That's how it works. So
if you've been waiting for this, many of you have been waiting for Earthworm Jim's story for the 20 years that it's been since Doug's
Yeah.
had the opportunity to tell it. So, go get it. Go get it. They're all different levels. You can come in at an entry level. You can spend a fortune and be.
you can buy the cover.
Yeah, you can buy the cover. It's like $9,500 or something. $6,000.
Yeah, that's I think it's down to 7,100 or something. I knocked the price down on that, but that is by the original Earthworm Jim game artist Mike Kelsch, who did all of the cartridge art and all of the ads for Earthworm Jim and all of the
Sure.
toy art. He did an original painting for me that I paid a lot of money for. So I'm trying to sell the cover, but no obligation. I'll hang that thing in my studio too if I don't sell it. But
Well, you can eBay it later.
well, eBay it later. I like my backers do the eBaying. My only store that I can really get my head around is the Indiegogo thing. I want them to do the reselling. I just want to sit at this table.
I was just laughing like when OJ stole a bunch of his own paraphernalia from someone.
Yeah.
It's like, OJ, if you want some OJ merch, just go buy a shirt and sign it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the guy.
Yeah, he could have signed it, and he stole his own trophy. Is he still in jail, or did he get out?
He's out. He's on Twitter now, and he is phenomenally funny.
Okay.
If you can imagine, I can't imagine a single person on Earth making more people mad by being on Twitter than OJ Simpson.
Yeah.
And there was apparently like an OJ parody account that thought he was a parody account, and they're like, lol, another parody account, and he sent the guy just a bunch of knives, and he said, "You next."
Oh my.
Doug, what is that? That's the funniest thing you could possibly do.
Yeah. Yeah. It's murder humor. Murder humor only in America.
Yeah, only in America.
Humor.
And I love that.
He can't get double jeopardy again, right? He can't get nailed again for the same crime.
No, he cannot. They would have to. It would be a huge stretch for them to somehow try and pull that off, and it would be very, very difficult.
Unless he tried robbing his paraphernalia again, he could go back in for that crime.
Yeah. If he did something else.
If he did something stupid, but if he just does YouTube stuff and Twitter stuff, he's fine.
Man, what a weird
weird world. It is true.
All right, well, so what you're here today to help me with, other than the Earthworm Jim stuff, is I've gotten there's a really weird thing that happened. This is very strange. The lawyers on Twitter are talking about this as if this is normal. This is not normal. In the Vic Mignogna case, the lawyers for Monica Rial and Ron Toye, two of the parties, have filed, which they didn't need to, they filed a notice of intention to subpoena me and take my deposition. They didn't actually notice me to be subpoenaed and deposed. They filed a notice of intention to notice.
That's weird.
It's very weird.
That's a fake warning, I would think, right? Is that normal? Normally they just do they just subpoena you normally? Or
normally they would just serve the subpoena. And if they were going to notice me for deposition, they would file the notice typically after like a conference or something like that. But importantly, they haven't noticed me for it. They're not filing the notice. It's a notice of intention to notice.
So it's a threat.
Many people would
seems
suggest
like a threat.
So. It seems like a threat. It seems like they want me to not talk about things.
Where in legalese does this fit with cease and desist as a threat? Is this
cease and desist is a little different. Because the cease and desist letter means nothing, right? You know this, that the cease and desist lets you know a lawyer's involved. At least as far as the letter. And that's
he got a retainer or something.
Yeah. And maybe not even, because you can just rent a lawyer for a cease and desist and just say
$500.
Yeah. This is a little bit different because this is putting out the notice that they intend to do this, but the threat is in the filing, because there's no purpose to file this. They would just wait until the notice was done, because they actually have to ask the court for permission to do this because of a discovery stay that's going on. So it's even weirder for them to file this. And my understanding is that they did serve this on the parties prior to filing it, and then later that day decided to file it. So again, unnecessary to do so. So I'm going to go through that, and you can hang out as long as you will and just kind of enjoy it with me.
I will. I'm going to eat this up. I'm going to watch people try to take you down. This is my favorite sport.
But first, there are some super chats, and I want to make sure that if any came through with comments for you, and I see one right away that is hostile. It's hostile to you.
I love hostility. Bring it.
So this is GR People. He says,
"Oh, that guy." So we're both on the hot seat, Nick.
Well, it's
both
hostile to you. It's not hostile to me.
Okay.
It says, Doug thinks I'm anti-Christian. Could you kindly explain to him that you are a Christian? Well, Doug, I am a Christian.
Are you a Christian?
Most of the time.
Oh, good.
Vic is a Christian, and yet I only think Doug is an ASS. F Doug and his martyr complex. Hail rackets. So.
Okay.
So there you go.
Should I respond? Am I supposed to say something back?
Well, it's up to you. I don't,
I do have a martyr complex, so it's hard for me, Your Honor. It's hard for me to come up with evidence against that.
So you own the martyr complex, at least.
Oh, absolutely. F this asshole. I am an asshole, so I have a hard time. I have no defense against that. So maybe I just agree with people. Maybe I'm right there with them.
Well, if he's got you pegged, he's got you pegged.
Yeah, he's got my number.
So there you go. Thanks for that, GR People. Is Hailson says, "Hey Nick, hoping you can have a drink for my brother. His newborn had to get rushed to the hospital this morning. Prognosis is hydrocephalus. Haven't heard back, but she's in surgery. Not sure what it is, but he seemed worried. You know what? It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a mundane thing or a serious thing, because when you have that new baby, especially if it's your first, and they are put in any indica of danger, any tiny amount, it is devastating and frustrating. And so I will certainly, I've got this Glenlivet Nadura that I'll have I'm not going to drink the whole thing because
no, I have Amador here. This is Amador whiskey. It's a fine brand.
Sounds good. I want to try it sometime.
Yeah,
I'll have a little sip with you, Doug, if you're ready.
Right here.
Toast, brother.
Tink to the baby. Godspeed. So good.
So yeah, may everyone's thoughts and prayers, if you spare them, be on that child in the family. That's tough stuff.
Yeah.
The Pie Baker says, in your best Casey/Ron impression. Now, Mr. Nick and Counsel Drexel, while you burn through those pre-deposition super chats, may I top off your whiskey and get you sandwiches? How about some jelly beans?
That is good.
Doug, my buddy Drexel was on the show the other day, and he lives in a world that is parallel and completely removed from the reality that I live in, which is one of the reasons I love him.
He was on the 24-hour one, right?
Yeah.
I saw him. Yeah.
But he's on the other day talking about his life of orgies and debauchery.
Oh my. Recent?
I think this is more in his past.
Oh, thank God.
But I don't actually know. The way he talks, you'd never know if it was yesterday or 5-10 years ago.
Okay.
But he's telling me about they'll get these big orgies going or whatever, which is weird. But then there are men who bring snacks to the other men.
That's
Can you imagine like rolling up with a meat and cheese tray?
Yeah. Thanks, bro. Give me that garlic stuffed green olive.
I'll have the bruschetta with mozzarella on it, please.
Yeah. Now I'm no expert on orgies, but I'm no
Well,
expert, but hypothetically, I wouldn't want another man anywhere near the touchy. Like if he's handing me a cracker, you would not want to like bump fingers with him
no, it'd be like you
accidentally.
set the tray down and
Yeah,
walk away. I'm
yeah.
busy.
Serve the papers, serve the hors d'oeuvre, just slide it up, and then and then I'll take it off the table.
Yeah,
I
you
don't want to
vominos.
bump. I don't want to touch.
Yeah,
Not that I'd know.
it's a weird thing for me. But so that's the joke, is that those cucks would be bringing the snacks.
Yeah, I guess you kind of lose your inhibition if you're doing orgies, anyways, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you have to kind of let go, I think.
I think you gotta let. Yeah, I'm a little too uptight for orgies.
It's never been my thing either, but that's why I said that people wonder why I bring Drexel on the show, and it's because I'm fascinated. I'm absolutely
Yeah.
fascinated by. I've known this guy since he was a teenager, and the life he leads, and I'm telling you, you would be hard pressed to find a more loyal friend,
Yeah.
and a more genuine friend than Drexel, who will genuinely tell you when he thinks you messed up.
Yeah.
Pulls no punches. A very valuable person to have around. But to see this guy that I met when he was like 12 years old, and how our lives have so brilliantly diverged, yet we've maintained friendship for so long.
Oh yeah,
And-
that's what male friends are about. It's guys, you kind of can hang out with guys who are so different from you, and you can just dig each other, and there's kind of a permission to be yourself. You know what I mean? You're not his girlfriend, and you're not there to fix him.
Right. Hold on. I'm getting an update here. Earthworm Jim is over $371,000.
Wait, you're kidding me? Holy what?
So people took that 9-day thing to heart.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for your backing this thing. This is great. 371. Holy smokes.
So that's awesome, and guys, really I do appreciate it. I love
Yeah.
to bring people on who are creating, like, because that's
Yeah.
that's what we're doing, and again, the only way we get to do this is with the help of other people and with the help of you guys. So thank you so much for doing
Yeah.
that.
So, and everyone in the campaign's already getting one set of cards. And when they broke through the 370 level, they opened up the stretch goal to give everyone. So this is your guys' gift to everyone else who's already backed, is they get a second set of trading cards. So it's just like a free gift. They all come in, and then all my other people that are already in, you just gave them a gift.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Awesome. Absolutely great. Again, I can't wait. Thank you guys for supporting Doug.
They're very generous. I appreciate
And
it.
me, of course, with the super chats and everything. You guys have no idea how much we appreciate the ability to do this. We consider it the greatest of blessings and luck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anthony Seibert says, Nick, here's some money to make them more salty. Also need to sell their salt as a product in your shop, just like Bella Delphine.
Yeah.
Gross.
You got to dry it out so the salt crystallizes and serve it as a table salt. Lawyer Tears table salt.
Did you see that? Bella Delphine was selling her bath water.
I did. That was disgusting.
It's brilliant. She's a genius.
And didn't they sell out of it? Didn't she sell out of it?
I mean, if she sold it, who knows if she sold any, or if it was just the hilarious troll. I have no idea.
Were there any ghosts floating around, so to speak, in the water?
I think there will be soon.
If they that's after they buy it.
But people are making it out like this is some disgusting thing. There's a song. What's that song? I love to wash in your old bath water. Right? That's an old song.
Yeah.
The bathwater meme it predates most of us, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone would ever sing that to Gary Busey, let's say.
Well, but they might sing it to Belle Delphine.
Belle Delphine, they would.
I would not sing it to Gary Busey. I don't know how much cocaine would be in that old bathwater of
Yeah.
Gary Busey.
She needs to up the stakes and do sell her toilet water.
Oh, that's disgusting.
That would be
That's hideous.
that would be insanitary, but funny.
Well, might as well.
Bathwater. Nick, what if everyone in the chat, put a number 1 in there if you'd buy Nick's bathwater. If we did some Nick Rekieta official canned bathwater, I want to see a number 1 in the chat. Who'd buy that? What's a reasonable price? I don't know.
She was charging $30.
Okay, yours will be $25. It'll be a steal.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to undercut Belle Delphine's market.
Yeah.
Coming for you, Belle. Morty J says, got a 4-day weekend ahead of got 4-day weekend ahead of me, and the best way to kick it off with a late night show with Nick and Doug. Nick, never stop being you, and Doug, God bless.
Oh, my people. That's very kind.
Hyperion 9997 says, I got my butt handed to me today in a government arbitration for condo claims, plus press F to pay respects. Oh, buddy, I'm sorry.
What does that mean?
They're Canadian, so the government decided that the government was correct, I think is what happened.
Ugh. How do you fight? You can't fight the government.
Not in Canada.
Good luck. Poor guy. What a bummer.
Sorry to hear that, buddy. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
A Burley Knoll says, happy 4th to Nick, Doug in the chat. Hope no one loses a finger. Me too. Me too.
Are you firing off any ordnance tomorrow?
No, we don't typically. We went to a fireworks show tonight.
Okay.
At a small town in our area does a fireworks show tonight. So they don't compete with the other towns on the 4th. And so we tend to go to that one because it's less crowded than the others. Yeah. And they put on a good show.
Yeah. How fun.
Yeah, we did that. And I leave it. I mean, I'm not opposed to firing off some ordnance, but we just typically don't because I'm lazy and don't go buy it.
We'll be shooting some off. I'll probably lose a finger. Are you going to be having hot dogs tomorrow? Are you cooking hot dogs?
I don't currently have a grill, which is the saddest status of my summer.
I mean, there is probably a Home Depot down the street, right? Or a Costco. It's not like you don't have access.
I want to buy
Saudi Arabia.
Well, be careful. I live in a very small town.
Okay.
No, I've been looking for a grill. I think I've settled on one. I have to order it, and then they have to deliver it, and then I think I have to build it. And so, it's just the process of all of this combined with I've been doing more traveling this year than I've done in my entire life.
Yeah.
And
are you coming out to Bubba Fest? Speaking of travel,
I think we have it locked down.
Okay.
We had our babysitters were at the fireworks thing tonight, and we gave them dates for Bubba Fest and HawaiiCon, and I think we've got it locked down. So just need a final confirmation, then I will be booking plane tickets.
Tug and Yellow Flash, I think, are going. They're trying to get me to go, and I don't think I'm going to go. It's a little far for me to drive, and with this schedule, it's bad. Have to do pages. But
well, I'm crashing your house. I don't care what you say.
Oh, you can come to my house anytime you want, dude. You come over and crash. We'll have cigars, dude.
Yeah, that sounds.
We'll do another live show.
How are you on acid whatever cigars? Have you had those?
I love them. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Vic gave me some acid cigars. These Cuba.
Yeah. Yep.
Those were delicious.
I've had them. I mean, I'll smoke anything dark, anything, and especially Torpedo. I like best. Hey, so Vic hasn't called me yet. When's that going to happen?
I don't know. He's very busy.
Yeah, I know.
Busy, so
I know.
We'll see it. We'll see on that one. I'm not.
I'm not his babysitter, Doug.
I'm not in charge of anything. Everybody thinks I am. Not everybody. A certain few people who it would be really beneficial for me to be somehow in charge of Vic think I am in charge of Vic, but the reality is I'm not. So we'll see. The Texan 83 says, Doug, my man, why did you like a response to that Billy Haywood lawyer on Twitter who thinks Nick is an idiot and gets dunked on by a lowly woodworker for claiming not to pay attention to Nick while saying it's his job? Why would you?
Let me go look. Wait, let me go look at this.
Yeah.
Who is this, Billy?
Billy Haywood.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You must have liked something. Who knows? I mean, I don't know.
I just need to see who Billy Haywood, Hay. Haywood.
Doug and Blast. H-E-Y. H-E-Y.
Oh, H-E-Y.
Yeah.
Haywood.
He's a Texas lawyer. I think he does primarily criminal defense. I may be wrong on that, Billy, if I'm wrong, but please, it's not personal. That's what I remember.
I like anything that I read. When I read it, I tend to hit like just to You know,
It's a nice cover
I'm not even
story,
seeing
Doug.
him. I'm not even seeing him on my feed. I have no idea. Your Honor.
Yeah,
Your Honor,
you
I
do
was
not
drunk.
recall. You do
I
not
do
recall.
not. Yeah, I do not recall. Do not recall, Your Honor. I'm doing the Reagan defense. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's now the Toye defense. Oh, get this. So you don't know about this briefly.
No.
They did some depositions in Vic's case. Vic was deposed, Ron Toye was deposed, and Monica Rial was deposed.
Yeah.
Okay. Ron has they have collected 396, I think, or 76 allegedly defamatory tweets from Ron Toye.
Okay.
And so at his they've asked for production, and you know about this process, I believe,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they asked for document production. They didn't produce any of the tweets. So they said, fine, well, we'll just ask at deposition. So they go through all of these tweets one by one for a while, and then in groups of 10 because it was taking so long.
Yeah.
Do you recall making this tweet? Did you make this tweet? And he said, I don't recall, to every single tweet that was put in front
Oh,
of
that
him.
was my excuse I just gave.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm saying.
he too didn't recall.
He too didn't recall.
But he was lying. I was telling the truth.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Whether he's lying or not, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it always matters if you lie under oath, but it doesn't really matter because here's the problem. Those are allegedly defamatory tweets, and one of the defenses for defamation are truth or rhetorical hyperbole, right?
Not intent.
He can't now state whether he believed them to be true at the time he made them.
Yeah.
So that was and this is the rub, of course, is that after that hearing, or after that deposition the next day, Ty had a hearing with the judge and Ron's lawyer saying, Your Honor, they haven't produced these tweets. And Ron's lawyer said, no, I think he authenticated those tweets. He authenticated those. And so then the judge says, wait, so are you willing to say on the record that those are authentic? And he said, yeah. So they authenticated all of the tweets.
Pinned them all to him.
Yep. And now he can no longer testify to the truth or falsity of them because he can't recall making them.
So, and only one of the defamatory tweets has to be true for him to get nailed with defamation, right? Only one.
They could maybe make an argument that all of his tweets, all of the tweets combined, are a single published work, and that that would have to then sway the majority. They would have to be you'd have to reach a substantial truth. I'm saying they may be able to argue that because Twitter is such a new medium in court cases.
Yeah.
That I'm not sure how they would treat that. But in theory, if they could link one defamatory tweet to an allegation of damages, that would be devastating. That'd be devastating.
They could, like if he was disinvited from a con right after one was made.
I mean, that would be a bad thing.
That would be unfortunate timing. I'd love to see the lawyer in the courtroom though, when he represents this body of tweets and he has the Bugs Bunny, he has them all printed out on a scroll. And he's like, I don't want to bore the jury, but just he opens up the scroll and it rolls all the way across the floor.
Yeah.
800 tweets. Oh,
well, the way you do that now is what's the most boring medium you could possibly use, Doug, for a meeting? What is it? What does everyone hate when you sit down in a meeting and you say,
I have a visual display, like a printout card on a...
What's the worst visual display you can use? It's when they pull out that little clicker and they set up the projector and they've got a PowerPoint, right?
Yeah.
One slide at a time. Here's a tweet. Here's a tweet. Here's the tweet.
Yeah.
400 of them. I mean, imagine how much the jury will hate the person making all those tweets. It's silly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God. Lunar says, we can rebuild him. We have the technology. Bigger, longer, thicker, more flesh-colored. So there you go. That's Earthworm Jim.
That's the tagline, for families. It's a family book.
Exactly. JCF Data says, Doug just supported the Earthworm Jim book. Love the content, Nick. Keep it up. Hey, thanks, pal. Nova Zero. There's a couple more of these, and then we'll get into the document. Nova Zero says, Nick's a D exclamation point CK. Doug's an A5S. It's official. This is the most family-friendly entertainment we can get.
They're getting a lot of dick and ass on your show.
Yeah, apparently. Frostbeard 2 says, a book of lawyers' tears. You won me over, just contributed. Take my monies. Also, Nick sent you an email about Discord. Please keep up the great content, gentlemen. Hey, buddy, I'll get to that as soon as I can. Thank you. Skeetmeat says, rip Mad Magazine for making people laugh and bringing us Sergio Aragones. Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Marvel, for killing comics for everybody and new customers. We live in a timeline where Hitler lost World War II. Just a reminder.
Hey, Sergio Aragonés is one of the big influences on my life. He did the little comics in the borders of the Mad Magazine up at the top, little comics. So I did learn to draw a lot of my stuff. Like Earthworm Jim's mouth goes off his head. You'll see it go off his head. That's the way Sergio Aragonés used to draw mouths. Perfect. So I got on a Simpsons Treehouse of Horror in the year 2000.
Oh, those were so funny in the early times.
I did one of those up. I did a Apu story. And Sergio Aragonés was one of the other artists in the book. So I did a story, Sergio Aragonés did a story, and that book got nominated for an Eisner Award, the highest award you can get in comics. And the book won.
Nice.
And it only won because Sergio Aragonés was on it. But I got the Eisner too. And so with an Eisner, you get free, my whole family gets free tickets to Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con for life.
Nice.
I don't have to go in a line or anything. So thank you, Sergio Aragonés. Thank you to your audience member who recognized such a fine cartoonist.
That's fantastic. Let's see. Stephen Frost says, hey, Nick, here's 20 for the grill, bud. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that very much. Colin says, Doug just bought the double pack. My best friend loved Earthworm Jim when he was a kid. I absolutely love your style.
Very cool. Thank you so much, guys. That is so generous. I'm so touched.
All right. Well, that's, I think that's the 20s. So yeah, that's the 20s. Let's get into this document here. I'm going to have to, do you want me to screen share this or do you want me to just bring it up and read it? Which would you prefer?
I want to see it. I want to see it.
Okay, here we go.
Just because I like how official it all and terrifying it all looks.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to boomer out on me, you don't have to show it to me.
No. I can do both.
It has more authority if your audience reads it, unless you don't want to show your home address, which tell them.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. So here's the notice of intent to serve subpoena for oral deposition and production of documents on Nick Rekieta. I want to call your attention to this list of people that they sent it to. Notice what they did here, right? Everybody's address is blocked out, but not on any of these documents. Now, if I had to guess, I think that this line right here is the sole purpose of filing this document.
They're trying to threaten you with the docs.
So these people, now they have accused me of doxing. I have not doxed anyone. They have accused me of promoting doxing. Haven't done it. I talked to the Kiwi Farms about doxing. I said that, people are going to do on the internet what they're going to do. I have an expectation that at some point in time, I will probably be doxed. It just kind of comes with the territory. But they went ahead and tried to do it through an official proceeding. At least that's my interpretation, because let's read this again. Notice of intent to serve subpoena for oral deposition and production of documents on Nick Rekieta. This is a notice that they intend to notice me, right? This is not a required filing at this point in time. And if you listen to the Twitter Law Brigade, because Ty has filed a motion to quash this oral deposition. That's Ty and Vic's legal strategy. I have nothing to do with that. But if you see these other lawyers, they're talking about how this isn't ripe yet, so Ty shouldn't be challenging it. Well, here's the thing, guys. If it's not ripe, why is it filed? It doesn't need to be filed yet. They'll have to refile the notice when it happens. Yeah. Anyway, they'll have to file a motion to get permission to do this as well, and they haven't filed it yet. So why file this? They think that this intimidates me. Well, let me just announce this to the world. Guys, I moved from this address a while back. You may notice the background of the videos changed dramatically from the old room that I was in to a completely different vault that I talked about extensively. That I now broadcast from a vault from a new property. This is my old house that doesn't have a basement. So it's
Weirdos.
not the right one. I appreciate very much your attempt to dox me after whining and bitching like a bunch of babies that
Yeah.
someone's name might be released. And after the judge suggested that you guys weren't planning on releasing home addresses on the record, I appreciate very much that you turned around right away and tried to release my home address to people when your whole argument is, oh, you know, people are hostile to releasing home addresses. That's what you do.
That's right. So it's actually more dangerous to run through this system with Monica Rial than has a better chance of you getting doxxed than being on Kiwi Farms.
Yeah,
How bad is that?
and the thing on Kiwi Farms is there's no officialness to it, right? You never know if a dox on Kiwi Farms is real.
Right.
But this is filed. This is filed in a court proceeding that is public, and they're attempting to use that shield to try. I think they're trying to intimidate me. Apparently, they don't pay much attention.
Yeah, they don't know you, Nick.
They don't.
They
And
don't,
so
no.
if you idiots thought that this would somehow get me to stop talking about the case or whatever, no, of course not. I have every journalistic right to discuss this case. And you do well to remember that. Now, let's move on.
If they do serve you, are you responsible for your flight? Do you have to pay for your flight there?
No, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
They have to do this under Minnesota rules. But we'll get there. So, okay, so pursuant to Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 205, please take notice that within 2 days from the entry of an order allowing service of this notice, defendants Monica Rial and Ronald Toye intend to serve on Nick Rekieta a signed copy of the deposition subpoena Ducis Tecum, or whatever the subpoena, attached hereto, with a deposition and production date as directed by the court, requesting the deposition of Nick Rekieta and the production of documents and things described as Exhibit A thereto. Footnote 1. Currently, a stay of all discovery is in place in accordance with Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code, Section 27.003C, except as provided by Section 27.006B. On the filing of a motion under the section, all discovery and illegal action is suspended until the court has ruled on the motion to dismiss. Defendants intend to file an appropriate motion in accordance with 27.006B to allow the deposition to go forward. There's problems with this because they didn't file the TCPA motion that they're referencing. Someone else did. So this, to grant limited discovery related to a TCPA, you would have to presumably file your own because my deposition won't be of value to the other party. Something that they state later in this. This is a very weird filing. The subpoena and deposition will be naturalized in accordance with Minnesota Court Rule 45.01D. So they do have to follow the Minnesota rules because they're not sure if Texas has jurisdiction over me, and they really probably don't want to waste a bunch of time on that fight when they could just go ahead and try and nest this in Minnesota. So that's the
Can
filing.
you get a first class flight?
No. No, they'll have to I will stay here, and they'll have to either here, just a second. I'll pull my face back up where there it is. They'll have to either fly someone out here to do the deposition, or they'll have to hire local counsel to do the deposition, or what they're trying to do. They're trying to get whiskey. They're trying to get me to be deposed in the comfort of my home via live broadcast. I'm not quite sure I'm going to agree to that because I don't know where that broadcast is going.
Yeah.
So I'm not, and I
how
have
can
no
you trust? How can you trust people that are already trying to dox your home address? I mean, I
have no confidence in their ability to maintain the security of that broadcast.
Yeah.
From 1,000 miles away, how are they going to secure my end of it? No, thank you.
Yeah.
So we'll see. If they want to depose me, they might want to start looking at booking flights because I don't intend to just comply. with whatever.
And your
they have.
sciatica, they better be giving you first class with your sciatica.
No, they're gonna have to book a flight up here. I'm not leaving. I've got 5 kids. I'm not going anywhere. They'll have to
that's right.
come. They'll have to come to my town, right? If I have anything to say about it, they should look at coming out to my town. It's a couple hours away from the nearest airport too, so it's a little bit of.
I know it's gonna be like going to. It's like going to the Wild West. They're gonna be fighting bears.
It'll be a waste.
It's going to be like Northern Exposure. They're going to be walking through fields. Where's the house? Where's the house?
All right, here, let's get this one back up. All right. So this is the deposition subpoena Deuces Techum. So they've got to any sheriff or constable of the state of Texas or other person authorized to serve and execute. Greetings, you are hereby commanded to summon. Okay, well, that'll be funny. I guess a sheriff or constable from Texas will go ahead and just bring this up to Minnesota.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
And they'll bust that door down, too, to whoever was at your last house.
Yeah.
They'll bust that door down.
So yeah, at this address or wherever it may be found. Rude, I am not an it. Respect my gender pronoun of he. He, him, you scumbags.
You're not an object. These people are objectifying you.
They have misgendered me, Doug.
Yeah, I think we can bring that up.
Yeah, I think so too.
Look, I identify myself as a they, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm a plural.
Brian Duig, thanks for the donation. And the Texan 83 says they aren't trying to intimidate you. They're trying to intimidate Vic by threatening you and the others. That's my read of it. And that's what's caught the attention of that lull your friend of Doug's lol.
I forgot the guy's name already. Billy Haywood.
Billy Haywood. You'll never forget now.
I will never forget Billy. I will never forget you, Billy Haywood, whose tweet I liked and someone caught me liking. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
Is his wood actually made of hay?
I don't think so. I think it's HEY. So he's like saying hey to the wood.
Hey, it's Haywood. Okay.
So the place of deposition is apparently this address, which I will be clear. I mean, I technically still own that house.
Yeah, you could walk over there and do the deposition.
I could. Yeah, I could head over and do the deposition there. We'll see though.
Just let me know when I come. Could I pin like 800 Barbie doll heads to the wall before we do the deposition? Could I come over and get some purple wallpaper up so they feel at home?
If that would get you to come to Minnesota, I might allow it.
I might just do it if that was what I was allowed to do.
You are commanded to produce and permit inspection and copying of the following documents or tangible things at this place, date, and time specified below. List of documents. See Exhibit A for a listing of documents to produce and permit inspection of copying of. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Place via electronic copy to Wick, Phillips, Gould, and Martin. I don't know if they can necessarily demand that I send them an electronic copy, but I might make them available for inspection here in Minnesota if you guys want to come. I'll have to check on the rules on that. Assuming you can win this motion, to even get this discovery that's unrelated to anything. But I'm gonna see. I might just have to make it available for you to inspect rather than sending you electronic copies. I don't know if I can securely send it to you. That'd be we'll have to see. 3131 McKinney Avenue, Suite 100, Dallas, Texas. Or a copy service will be sent to the place of deposition to make copies of the documents. That might be funnier. You'll have to send out a copy service to my empty house.
That's good. That's good.
Failure by any person without adequate excuse to obey a subpoena served upon that person may be deemed a contempt of the court from which the subpoena is issued or a district court in the county which the subpoena is served. It may be punished by fine or confinement or both. Texas Rule of Civil Procedure. Well, again, I don't know that I'm subject to the Texas courts. So we'll have to see. They signed it draft. It's signed as draft, who is not. You can see the lawyer's name is J. Sean Lemoyne, not draft. So again, why they filed this is a little bit procedurally baffling. No proof of service, of course. So Exhibit A. Here's what they're asking for, Doug.
Mm,
Now you tell me if anything jumps out at you or if any thoughts, feel free to stop me here and we can have a discussion on any of
sure.
these things. So, instructions and definitions. The terms communications means any oral or written utterance, notation, or statement of any nature whatsoever by or to whomsoever made, including but not limited to correspondence, conversations, dialogues, discussions, interviews, consultations, agreements, and other understandings between two or more persons. The term document is used in the broadest sense and includes, but is not limited to, all originals, non identical copies, and drafts thereof. The term document includes, but is not limited to, the following items, whether printed, recorded, or reproduced by mechanical or electronic process, or written or produced by hand. Agreements, communications, including intercompany and intra-company communications, letters, electronic mail, instant messages, text messages, correspondence, applications of any type that exchange communications, telegrams, cables, telexes, memoranda, records, books, summaries of records or papers, graphs, charts, maps, blueprints, diagrams, tables, indices, pictures, recordings, tapes, computer storage media, accounts, analyses, and analytical records, memoranda of telephone calls, minutes or records of meetings or conferences, reports or summaries of interviews, transcripts, reports, microfilm, microfiche, telecopies, faxes, computer printouts, ledgers, photographs, videotapes, photographs twice, I guess, schedules,
Okay.
wiring diagrams, logic diagrams, diaries, calendars, day timers, logs, reports or summaries of investigations, opinions or reports of consultants, appraisals, evaluations, reports or summaries of negotiations, brochures, bulletins, pamphlets, circulars, advertising literature, magazine and newspaper articles or advertisements, trade letters, press releases, contracts, notes, drafts, projections, working papers, ledgers, which I think is in there 8 times now, checks, front and back, check stubs, receipts, and other documents, papers. You can't say documents includes documents or writings of whatever description included, but not limited to, any information contained in any computer or electronic information storage and retrieval device.
That's a threat. That's a threat.
I'll release all of my ledgers 9 times to.
Yeah, copy them all 9 times. It's a good thing that you and Vic only had your secret meetings communicating in cave painting cuneiforms.
Yeah.
That's not on the list. All of your communication was via cave paintings.
I guess they didn't ask me for the cipher to decode our conversations.
Yeah, that's nuts.
We
That's
speak
hilarious.
only in Comic Sans.
So they're doing like a witch hunt, right? They're looking for information. They've got nothing. They want to find something in your head or on your computer, anything you've ever done, or your fart, smoke signals.
Dude, they are. Get this. When they deposed Vic, they spent about an hour and a half, the first hour and a half, grilling him about the GoFundMe that I set up.
Okay.
They are so. You're going to see it as we get into their actual production requests.
Yeah.
These people are so butthurt that I raised money for this guy.
Oh, yeah.
They hate it. Oh, they hate how much money is in there.
We got to raise more money. We got to put more money in there.
We do. We do need to do it. I think I might focus over the next couple shows, really, really plugging that GoFundMe and just how much it offends these losers that someone else has decided to support someone that they thought they could destroy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Double
gosh.
it. Double the money. Tell them, send me another one. Send me another notice of a notice, and I'll double it again.
DNA Crows says, happy 4th of July, setting off fireworks and wishing everyone standing with Vic and you two gentlemen the absolute best with each one.
Okay.
Prayer hands, keep it up and sub to DNA Crows and check the stream with Tug. Sorry, shameless plug. Shameless plugs are okay. We accept them here. Storm Knight MD says, what? They didn't want an imprint of your brain on computer for being taken apart by logic programs? Nope. Apparently not. Blaine20 says, a big shout out to whomever gave a large donation to Pixalexia's art tablet fund, almost halfway to goal. Yeah, there's an artist, Doug, by the name of Pixalexia, and she has her art tablet broke just like 2 days ago or 3 days ago. And so she's crowdfunding that. So if you've ever
That's
seen
on
her,
is that on a GoFundMe? What is that? Let me
yeah, I
write-
think
let me-
it's I don't know if it's a GoFundMe or if she just had to set up a I think she might have just set up a PayPal. I'm not sure. But if you've ever seen her art, it's pretty cool stuff.
I will check it out, and I'll check it out. Sure.
Yeah.
I love helping. I love the GoFundMe thing where you can help people out. Is a lot of fun. So I dig it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Gay and Still at Large says, thankfully, this French queer, but I repeat myself, hasn't
I'm sorry, I have to laugh at that.
hasn't cornered Nick on his ability to grift his fans through psychic dream visions and trained parrots. No, don't ever. I don't want to be deposed about my ability to psychically dream grift people. Lunar says, "Oh, they're upset at the GoFundMe. Let me throw more money at it just to spite them."
Yeah, I'm gonna double dip on that too.
Thank you. Okay, so back to the document. The term "you" or "your," as used herein, shall mean Nick Rekieta. The term "mignagna," as Casey Eric was unable to pronounce in court, as used herein, shall mean plaintiff Vic Mignogna. The term defendants, as used herein, shall mean Defendants Funimation Productions, LLC, Monica Rial, Ronald Toye, and Jamie Markey. The term petition, as used herein, shall mean plaintiff's most recent petition on file. The term GFM, as used herein, shall mean the GoFundMe page set upon February 19th, 2019, of which a snapshot is attached here too as Exhibit 1. The term BHBH, as used herein, shall mean the law firm of Beard, Harris, Bullock, and Hughes, including any of its agents, employees, or consultants, which include Ty Beard, Carrie Elisa Christie, Christina M. Ross, and Jim E. Bullock. The term Mignogna witnesses shall mean the persons identified on Exhibit 2. Insert clever name here says, for that completely ridiculous definition, I'm giving you a super chat and matching donation to Vic's GoFundMe. So there, Casey and Moronica. Hey, thanks,
Nice.
buddy. Unless otherwise indicated, the use in these requests of the name or identity of any person, business, organization, or other entity, including but not limited to, to those entities and persons identified in this definitions, shall specifically include all of that entities or persons present or former employees, officers, directors, agents, representatives, members, partners, attorneys, departments, sections, affiliates, subsidiaries, parents, and all others acting on its/their behalf. Zanshi says, this letter shows that it's a fishing expedition. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't judges hate it when lawyers go on fishing expeditions? They do. Although, to be fair, these are just the definitions. They haven't gotten to their particularized requests yet. I'm reading this just because I read the full document so that you guys know like what this stuff looks like. That's part of the educational aspect of the channel, is going through these documents line by line, which a very wise lawyer whom I was talking to just earlier today said, you know what you do on that show, all lawyers should do.
I agree.
And they often don't, is they should go through a document line by line. Personally, I suggest reading it out loud. There's no better way to go through something line by line than actually reading it and hearing it while you say it.
I agree. After 20 years of contracts with the studios, I learned more about law by reading every line.
Yep. And it's hard to do because these are boring lines, right?
Yeah. It's an education. It is.
Pursuant to Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 196.4, for any responsive documents that are in electronic or magnet form, please produce in both hard copy with Bates stamps or PDF with Bates stamps and the native magnetic or electronic form. Actually, I don't think that, again, even if they win, I don't think I have to comply with that because that's not actually in the rule. Bates stamping is not a requirement. I just have to provide it in a legible format. In its native format, if it's in PDF or whatever is.
What's a Bates stamp? Is that like a tramp stamp? What is that?
Yes, it is. It's a lawyer tramp stamp. No, it's just if you're producing, say, 100 documents for production, you would Bates label each document with a unique number, typically starting at 1 and moving up. It's just for convenience of filing. Okay. And in deposition, if they're going to ask you about the document, they want to go, the document Bates labeled 32, so you can flip to it real quick or whatever and look at it. But it's not an actual requirement of Texas Rules of Civil Procedure as far as I know. So I haven't read the specific rule, but I'm pretty sure I pulled up the rules and did a search for Bates stamps, and they're not required anywhere in there. Okay. So Unless otherwise indicated, the use in these requests of the name or identity of any person, business, organization, or other entity shall specifically include all of that entity's present or former employees. Didn't they just say this? Something similar. Employees, officers, directors, agents, representatives, members, attorneys, departments, sections, affiliates, subsidiaries, parents, and all other persons acting on its behalf. Time period relevant to these documents is January 16, 2019 through the date of your deposition unless otherwise stated and or obvious from the context of the request. For the purpose of interpreting and construing the scope of these requests, you are instructed to give words their most expansive and inclusive meanings unless otherwise specifically limited by the language of an individual request. Accordingly, A, construe the words and as well as or in the disjunctive or conjunctive as necessary to make the request more inclusive. So they're pro-inclusivity. How very diverse of them.
I don't understand that just lost me.
Yeah, it lost them when they wrote it too. Don't feel bad.
Why are you writing this to me?
Blaine20 says any donation or commissions towards an art tablet are welcome and appreciated. Send by PayPal to pixalexia1@gmail.com. Indicate if you want to discuss a commission by the same email address. So there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, she's offering basically prepayments on commissions that she will complete after after getting the tablet.
Getting her tablet. Sure.
Okay, B, construe the term including to mean including but not limited to. C, construe the singular form of a word to include the plural and the plural form to include the singular.
Come on.
D, construe a masculine noun or adjective to include the feminine and vice versa.
We knew that was coming.
Very, very hateful of them, I think.
Legal soy. Okay.
And E, legal soy.
That's what it is right there. Hashtag legal soy.
E, construe the words all and each to mean both all and each. If in answering a request you object to any part of a request, each part of said request shall be treated separately. If an objection is made to a portion of a request, the remaining portion shall be answered. Sure they will. These requests are intended to cover all documents or things that are in your possession, custody, or control. A document or thing is deemed to be in your possession, custody, or control if it is in your physical control.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
It is in the physical control of any other person or entity and you individually or otherwise. Own the document or thing in whole or in part. Have a right by contract, statute, or otherwise to use, inspect, examine, or copy that document or thing on any terms, or have been able to use, inspect, examine, or copy that document or thing when you have sought to do so. So there you go. All right, so here are the documents. So those were the definitions. That's the long, boring boilerplate. But let's see what they're asking for documents. Yeah. Documents and communications between you and Mignogna. Oh, excuse me. Prior to the creation of the GoFundMe.
Can't imagine why you're yawning. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm like half yawning and mostly hiccuping with the whiskey hiccup. Do you get the whiskey hiccup, Doug?
No, I get the chewing tobacco hiccup, though. Too much tobacco makes me hiccup. So you're getting hit with the alcohol here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what the content they're looking for. Everything before this has been the presentation. This is the content they're looking for. Is that right?
Right. This is what they actually want me to produce.
Okay.
In the context of those definitions.
Yes.
Documents and communication between you and Mignogna regarding the GoFundMe, including any expenditures anticipated or actual related thereto. Well, that'll be an interesting production. But notice what's there. Look at these first four things: GFM, 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 GFM. What are Doug? Don't you love it when your opponent just telegraphs what pisses them off?
That is a poker tell.
They just
gave away their hand. Yeah.
Documents between or among you and or Mignogna and or BHBH and or the Mignogna witnesses concerning the defendants, the petition, any allegations in the petition, and or the GoFundMe. That'll be an interesting production for them as well.
Yeah.
Documents and or communications involving any expenditures of money from the GoFundMe related to the petition.
Nick, if I just want to get a little more famous, can I contribute to this so I get to be part of this whole deposition?
Do you want me to communicate with you about the GoFundMe just so that I have to produce it? Because
just so my name shows up in the lawsuit? Dude, that'd be an honor. It'd be great. Doug, give me a private chat. We'll take a picture of it and you can send that in with your legal documents.
Oh my God, I think I'll have to produce it. I'm discussing it with you now. I'll have to produce a transcript of this show, I guess.
This show, recording. Yeah. And I just want the word severed Barbie doll head in the conversation somewhere.
Also, you lawyers are a bunch of pathetic cucks.
Yeah.
So just in case I have to actually produce a transcript of this show, know that I said that. And this is probably the dumbest move you've made so far in this entire lawsuit. You are wasting your money. I've told everybody from the get-go, very publicly, everything about this GoFundMe, including the fact over and over and over again that I don't have access to any of it, you idiots. It's in the GoFundMe you created, Nick Rekieta, on behalf of Beard Harris. It goes directly to the IOLTA. I never see a dime. And guess what? The expenditures are probably privileged, and they're certainly privileged from me, you morons. I can't produce the documents. I don't have them. It's privileged.
Okay, screenshot that, submit the drive. Screenshot it. That's legal, Your Honor.
But the funny thing is, they're going to have to work to get that rant. They're going to have to expend resources to convince the court to allow them to have that rant produced to them, at least, because they just don't listen. I think the main problem for them is they, of course, believe that I'm lying.
Yeah.
That's the trick. They're operating under the assumption that I'm a liar. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not a liar at all. So there you go. So
I remember from day one when this thing went out, and you just said, "I have nothing to do with this. This is not my thing. This is his thing, and I love it."
Yeah. Notice of litigation hold. Please take notice that defendants Monica Rial and Ronald Toye have served notice upon the following of their obligation to preserve documents relevant to this dispute. Not true. Haven't received service of process on that yet, guys. May want to look into that. Probably because you used an address I don't live at and don't receive mail at, you idiots.
That's fraud. That's fraud.
I don't know if it's fraud, but I have a publicly available mailing address and they chose to try and be clever and dox me. Maybe I'll write an affidavit and submit it to the court and let the judge know how stupid you are for doing that. That I have a publicly listed mailing address that you could have sent this to, but instead, in your rush to maliciously dox my home address, you boomered it bad enough that you got the wrong address, you doxed someone else to the world, you doxed some other person, and then you went ahead and said that you served me, which is not actually true. Because I haven't received your letter yet. You could have just sent it to my address, but you haven't. My publicly available mailing address, could have sent it there, but you didn't. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Oh God, the rush of doxing like a lawyer. Can you imagine these guys jerking off into that second bucket next to the lawyer tears bucket? I'm sorry.
Yeah, right next to in the plant, the potted plant next to the Weinstein plant.
That's the Nadura talking, I think. It's getting there. So they've sent this to Chelsea Beard, Alyssa Flutie, Todd Habercorn, Lisa Hansel, Chuck Huber, Veronica Julian, Barb Myers, Nick Rekieta, and Chris Slatosh. There you go. And here's the redacted copy of the litigation hold letter. Here's what it says. Here's all our names and our addresses are redacted. Mignana versus Funimation Productions, blah, blah, blah. All to everyone. This firm represents Monica Rial and Ronald Toye. Hope you're getting paid, Jay Sean. I hear you aren't. I hear you haven't been paid on this yet. That's interesting. At deposition, Doug, it may have been revealed that Monica and Ron have only paid $10,000 to their attorneys.
Well, they're going to pay a lot more just in the flights to get out there and interview you for this thing.
The depositions, they had 3 attorneys doing depositions for 3 days. Now, not all 3 participated in all 3 days. But imagine, let's lowball estimate 60, highball estimate 100 hours of legal work.
Yeah.
If we guess an average of $300 an hour, and these guys are in Dallas, I think they're more.
Yeah.
I think they're more. But let's say it's $300 an hour. At 100 hours is 30 grand.
Yeah.
At 60 hours, it's 18 grand. Just for last week's depositions.
Yeah. Think of how long it took them to write all this crap.
Yeah, they got to prep them, and each deposition is several hours long, and you've got 3 attorneys. Oof, oof.
They're working up quite a lather. Well,
I
their
hope,
lawyers are happy if they ever pay them.
If they ever pay them is the trick, right? Because if you've only paid 10 grand, they just racked up tentatively an $18,000 bill. They over doubled the cost of the lawsuit in 1 week. Not to get personal, so I won't ask you, but Doug, the people you know, how many people do you know can afford to just drop $30,000 cash?
Voice actors make a lot of money, but they live in LA. So
The American voice actors do.
yeah, that's true.
Anime voice actors don't have the same union contract.
Do not. No, they don't. They're much less, 1/3.
$75 an hour studio time.
Yep.
No royalties.
Yeah. So maybe they're independently wealthy or something, but yeah, this is going to drain them, and it's not going to be worth it. I mean, this is stupid. This is a bad move.
Yeah, it's I'm wondering how long it's going to take these lawyers to realize they're not getting paid. I told them at the start, they can't afford this. No one can.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I send you this correspondence because I believe that you have knowledge and documents pertaining to this lawsuit. Mignogna named you in his deposition and informed me that he exchanged communications with you within the last year that are relevant to the lawsuit. The letter hereby notifies you that you must preserve any documents, and there's got a footnote because they didn't. That was a separate thing, to be fair. Information, tangible things, or electronically stored information in your possession, custody, or control that may be relevant to the lawsuit. Those are the materials. We request that you take immediate steps to ensure all relevant materials are not inadvertently or purposefully destroyed and/or deleted. Such materials include, but are not limited to, documents and communications, emails, texts, other with Mignogna about Monica Rial, Ronald Toye, Jamie Markey, Funimation, Tammy Dembo, Rooster Teeth, or any matters regarding concerning this lawsuit. Documents and communications between or among you and Monica Rial. I don't think I've ever talked to them. Oh, maybe I've tagged them on Twitter. I don't know. Documents and communications between or among you and Ronald Toye. I guess I have to find every instance where I called Ronald Toye a cuck on one of these. Is that a communication between me and him if I'm just saying it? I don't think that.
If you tagged him in it, it is. If you just say his name, if you do at him, then that's communication to him. So you have to file that. If it's just mentioning his name, that's not communication to him.
Right. That's just me talking on the internet.
That's just stating a fact.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Spicy Doug. Yeah. DCV Titan says, Nick, 24-hour stream talking about the GoFundMe and how a bunch of cuck lawyers and idiots are pulling stupid. Then send them the full transcript and let them burn funds reading through it. Sound like fun? Everything except the 24-hour part of it sounds fun. Yeah. Mr. Amish Hunter says, first super chat put towards doing the affidavit. Hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. So some people want me to send the affidavit to the judge talking about just how ridiculous these idiots are for trying to dox my address after complaining about doxing for a week.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's in the realm of what you should do. That'd be good.
Yeah.
He needs to know.
Well, you're giving me legal advice here, Doug. That's what you said on Twitter. So
yeah, I'm an art major, so I know these things. I was a fine art major.
Which is better than real art major, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's art major and fine arts major.
It's pretty much 4 years of summer camp that they call college. Okay, go ahead.
Doug, without revealing too much, how'd you do in school?
I mean, I was the dumbest guy I knew in school. So, I would get A's
and C's?
Oh yeah. A's in art, C's or D's in math.
I had a writer, an author, a published author come out to talk to one of our writing classes, and he's like, who here gets an A? And like one person raised their hand. He's like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. No one got into the arts because they got A's in any subject other than art.
Yeah. Wait a minute. This can't be. Hold on. I'm checking your GoFundMe here. Or your Indiegogo. $375,000.
What? Dude, that's embarrassing, man. You guys are killing me.
You guys are rocking it. That's crazy.
You guys are awesome. And I love getting readers. I'm going to tell you guys a funny story. So thank you. This is just a huge help. A huge thank you.
I only keep bringing it up because people keep mentioning it in the chat.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I really, it's humbling.
Okay, so here we.
I'm going to make you laugh.
Documents, donation, and accounting information concerning the Vic Kicks Back GoFundMe campaign found at this URL. Well, I'll be interested if anyone else on this list can produce the accounting information concerning Vic Kicks Back, but you know, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Your communications to any person which you exchange personal or identifying info. Listen to this. This is my favorite one. Are you ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready.
Your communications to any person in which you exchanged personal or identifying information concerning the defendants in the lawsuit, any witnesses to Mignogna's behavior at fan conventions, and any individuals who testify in the lawsuit. This request specifically includes your communications, emails, texts, and direct messages / posts to individuals associated with Kiwi Farms and the Rising Bull Rangers.
I never even heard of the Rising Bull Rangers. I know Kiwi
that's
Farms.
Vic's fan club. That's Vic's fan club. So they're saying, who did you dox and when did you dox them and who did you dox them to? Let me get off this thing for just a second. Let me make this perfectly clear.
Yeah, get in there.
Hey, dummies. I have stated publicly over and over and over that I do not dox people. I don't have personal identifying information on any of these morons other than what you filed. That's it. And I haven't actually shared it with anybody. Ever. How dare you suggest that the Kiwi Farms needs help from someone like me to dox someone? How dare you, you dumb, miscalculating pile of trash. You don't understand what you're talking about. So when you get the response, if you win your stupid motion to get the court to make me produce this, let me just preview it for you. There are none, you idiots. I don't dox people. You do. You do. You did that. Not me. So when you ask for my secret communications with the Kiwi Farms, oh my God, I should maybe just produce the communications I have with any Kiwi Farms member, even though they wouldn't relate to doxing, just for the sheer volume of them calling you stupid cucks that would exist. So that you would have to read, Casey Eric is a stupid cuck from someone who's not me. From someone who's, and believe me, that is the most polite insult that they have for you, you stupid cuck. So I have not communicated with any Kiwi Farms member, to my knowledge, with any, I certainly haven't given out any identifying information because I don't do that. I've said it over and over. And if you think you're going to catch me in some sort of weird lie on it, that now I have to produce it, I can't. There isn't anything. I don't lie in public. You guys do. Not me. And your clients do. I don't have to. I'm on the side. Maybe you haven't figured this out yet. You're arguing against the side of truth. People who don't have to hide behind lies, we're on this side. The truth has always been on this side. You deal in a realm of liars, spurgs, and morons. I know you're used to a bunch of it. That's your baggage. Sorry, buddy. That's the ropes. You signed on to the side of the liars. That's what this whole case is about. People lying to ruin someone else's life. Have you not figured that out yet? The people who are sitting over here are on the side of truth. And I've been open and public about everything because I don't have to hide anything from you. I'm old enough and established enough in my own life that there's no reason for me to ever misrepresent anything. So if I misrepresent something, it's likely because I just got it wrong. And I'm happy to correct it.
Mm.
Good luck when you get the notice of me containing containing 0 documents, or maybe just a photocopy of my middle finger. You'll understand exactly why. There's nothing to produce. Kiwi Farms doxes people on their own, you idiots, and they do it with publicly available information. They wouldn't waste their time asking me for help. That would be insulting to their abilities. And the fact that you're insulting Kiwi Farms makes me think that you don't have situational awareness of who's involved in all of this. Because they're going to probably laugh at you. They're going to pity you. I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe I'm wrong. I wouldn't know. Maybe you should ask the people on your side, Mars Girl, Shane, who have Kiwi Farm accounts. I don't have one. So anyway, I'm not going to read their footnote on documents because it's similar to their other thing. Well, no, it's actually, I'm skimming it. It's very different. Maybe I should read it real quick.
Yeah.
Ryan Mercado says, Captain Super Chat Boy here. Here's some money, and I hope they get sanctioned for that doxing attempt on you. I don't think it's likely that they'll get sanctioned, but I do think that they'll look like morons in front of the judge again.
Which is satisfying because at least, like you said, as long as the truth gets out at what they're trying to do, at what they did, I don't even have to even go to intent. It's flat out what they did. They publicly, they redacted everyone else's address and they left yours on it.
Yep.
They could have redacted it.
They could have. They should have.
Yep.
And not because of any duty to me, but because they kind of represented to the court that they expected home addresses would be redacted, especially of non-parties who have not voluntarily come forward, which I have not. I'm not a party to this suit. I have not been an affiant to this suit. And I had no intention of involving myself in the suit at all. I'm a journalist.
They're demanding you come in this suit, Nick. They're demanding it.
Think about how bad this was looked. If you were suing CNN and you publicly attempted to dox a CNN journalist because of their position on the case. Like, imagine if Nicholas Sandmann, that kid, the Covington kid, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if his lawyers filed this same motion against CNN. There would be wall-to-wall coverage of how embarrassing and disgusting it was that they tried to publicly disclose the address of a journalist and get him to reveal his sources. That's what they're actually doing right now.
Yeah. You're just a regular private citizen, just a regular guy.
No, I'm not even a regular guy. I'm a journalist. I'm reporting.
Well, yeah, you're probably not a regular guy, but
I'm providing more in-depth coverage with better sourcing. And this is not a slight to anyone else. This is not because I'm some special worker. It's because by fortune and happenstance, I have become kind of the figurehead of the legal aspect of this case. So I, because of that position, have access to sources that many other people don't have access to. And if they think that I'm going to burn those sources for their stupid deposition, they're going to be wasting their time. But the interesting thing here is because of that, there is no other journalistic organization that has, I promise you, Anime News Network, those amateurs at Anime News Network, hey, Anime News Network, your investigative practices are garbage, your organization is garbage, and your reporting is embarrassingly laughable.
Yeah.
Embarrassingly bad. That heap of trash certainly does not vet sources the way I do. I get 2, if not 3 sources on every single piece of information. And the only time I use 2 sources is when those 2 sources are good. They're better than anybody else you can find. And I still don't go off of just one. Even if it's the direct person involved, I don't go off of one source. I back it up with a second.
Anytime it's Anime News Network, this is another thing with all the games journalists and comics journalists, by the way, are the same thing. So Earthworm Jim is a comic book and a video game I can raise $375,000 and they will not say one word. I'm on all their blacklists because I'm a conservative. So doesn't surprise me that Anime News Network is also run by a bunch of woke SJWs. They have their conclusion on this case before they even know the facts. They don't care about the facts. They only know what side.
They participated in propagating the defamation.
Yeah.
They're lucky that they're Canadian because it's probably more annoying to serve them than anyone else in this case. That's probably the only shield that they have, is that they're Canadian. And it's disgusting. If this GoFundMe had $1 million in it, they would already be sued, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So they should just proof and advertising. They should call themselves the Left Wing Anime News Network.
They call themselves the most trusted name in anime journalism. It's pathetic. And that same goes for Polygon and IO9. You guys are jokes. And the funny thing is, many of us out here know that you're jokes. And the work that we put in, I've never been trained in journalism. My efforts are, again, largely due to fortune and happenstance. And I take that role so flipping seriously. And it's an embarrassment that your journalists don't.
Yeah. Polygon's hit me. IO9 has hit me. Kotaku has hit me. I'm just saying, at some point, you want to have all the right enemies. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't want the Anime News Network to ever agree with you because it means you're on the wrong side of truth.
Well, to be fair, Anime News Network agreed with me on one thing. They did a false DMCA strike on Hirohei and got his live streaming removed for about 15 days. And then they capitulated. I filed the counterclaim, the long story short, I filed the counterclaim on behalf of Hirohei, and they agreed that their claim was bogus, and they backed down.
Good. So you actually helped to hold them to journalistic integrity that they don't have.
You know why they did the DMCA, right?
What is that?
When you counterclaim a DMCA, you have to provide your home your address, your identifying information to prove that it's you. So I offered my services as a law firm to Hirohei pro bono. He didn't pay me a dime, you idiots. I did it for the joy of watching you lose because I knew you would. So I took his issue pro bono, and that way we could put my law firm's information down rather than his personal information, because I swear they were trying to dox Hirohei. They had no reason. His video is clearly fair use. Clearly. He took a 45-minute interview, expanded it to roughly 2 hours with significant commentary, stopping both in the middle and before and after.
That should cover it. Yep.
Yeah. There's no way that was a copyright infringement. So they're just trash journalism, trash organization, and they can eat a bowl of feces and kiss it like Montegraph does. Ryan Pond says, "Nah, Nick, take the in. Think how jealous a certain someone will be that you got in just by existing when they've been doing everything in their power to get an in on the suit." Well, they may very well get permission from the judge because the judge is interested in this case. Now, the funny thing about that is you don't want the judge interested in this case if you're the defendants. Like, what do you think about that, Doug? Like, you got a defamation case. Yeah. You're the defendant. So you have allegedly defamed someone. Do you want the judge paying attention to that case?
I would think not. First of all, because judges can't be manipulated the way that juries can. I mean, judges are, they don't like BS being brought into their court either.
They don't like that. And let me counter with one thing. Judges believe they can't be manipulated in the same way. Yeah. So I would say that judges tend to, and this is not a slight on judges, this is a reality of having authority, that judges tend to overestimate their ability to divorce themselves from something. So if you have a disinterested judge, he's likely to go, oh God, some people complaining about internet defamation. Seriously, why are we doing this? Yeah. Now you've got the judge interested because of all the drama. And if you don't think this drama is interesting, I do this show every night to when it's on this subject, 6,000, 7,000, sometimes 10,000 people. Close to, I don't know if we've broken 10,000, but we've come close. Who are hanging on what's going on. A judge is just a person. You bring the drama into their courtroom, They suddenly care because it's not just another case.
Yeah.
You defendants have made the judge interested in this. And if you, heaven forbid that judge watches a YouTube video. Heaven forbid that he sits down and watches one of these. You don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I wouldn't.
I will attack, and you don't want that. Hey, tell me about one thing. This is something I'm wondering about. Okay.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I love that this whole thing is going down in Texas.
Oh yeah, it's the worst. It's almost it's on the defamation. It's not the worst state. On the TI, it definitely is the worst.
That's
state
what
they
I'm
could have
wondering
picked.
is, would it be a different story if it was taking place in California?
Yeah.
Because I would be terrified of getting dragged into a court in California, given all the woke lawyers, woke judges, and woke juries.
It's worse that it's in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
It's not in Dallas. Dallas, Austin, Houston. You know, you're going to have Democrat judges in Dallas, Austin,
Yeah.
Houston. You're going to have a Democrat jury pool.
Yeah.
This is Tarrant County. This is
know.
Fort Worth, where every judge, every single, and Texas elects their judges.
Yeah, I know.
For people
I
who
know.
don't know, every judge on the Tarrant County roster is a Republican.
So I'm just saying, if you're a bunch of Hollywood LA guys, I just go, I don't think this is going to go the way you're used to it going in California.
And let me suggest,
In LA.
every Fort Worth Republican judge, I'm guessing, watched Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing
Oh, yeah.
and thought, dear Christ, if I ever get nominated to a federal seat, which they want to do, those are lifetime appointments.
Yeah.
If I ever get nominated to a federal seat, how would this look for me if some random person alleges that I did something that I don't remember ever doing, and no one I know would say that I actually did this, and they can't produce a single witness, and this almost sinks my appointment to the most important job I will ever have, which is for Kavanaugh, Supreme Court Justice. For many judges, it's a district court, federal district court judge. That may be, and that's, I'm not slighting it. That would be a prestigious appointment. If they think this would be the most important appointment of my life, I would have the ability to affect the lives of the entire country.
Yeah.
For life. And it could be ruined by someone making up a fake story about me. And you think getting that judge who had to watch Kavanaugh go through those hearings and identify with it himself as, what if that were me? What would my wife say? What would my kids say? What would my kids' friends at school say?
If I was accused of the R word in front of the whole country. Can I ask you a piece of free, legal, non-official advice?
1 second.
Okay, go.
Just the closing thought to that is, now picture he reads Vic's case, where that is happening to a guy who is in what he considers to be the most important job he will do in his entire life, who has stated over and over again that he feels that his position in the industry is a calling by God to do as much good as possible in the lives of young people. Now pretend that judge reads that case after watching the Kavanaugh hit piece, and you just got him interested in it. In Texas, I mean, these people have miscalculated their position from day one. Now, what were you going to ask, Doug?
So on the locale of where the suit takes place, as you know, every time I do a character or sell one into Hollywood, there's always that little paragraph that says any dispute on this contract will be litigated in, and they give their
choice of law provision.
Is that something I could ever negotiate? Because right now, almost every contract I've ever signed has been that it will just default be litigated in LA, which we already know, given my values being conservative stuff.
My non-binding legal advice that you would definitely want to verify with your independent counsel when you're writing your contract or negotiating your contract.
Of course.
Is, you can absolutely negotiate that. Most savvy contract drafters, savvy parties. I mean, like, typically the business drafting the contract will just put that in there, and whether or not they think that is a strong point in the contract, that's something the hill they want to die on, will vary by the actual person. Now, some of it will be
because I live in Tennessee, and I'd rather be litigated in Tennessee than California, if you know what I mean.
Of course,
LA.
Absolutely. Or you could choose a neutral state like Texas, for example.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very neutral.
But you'd have to talk with an attorney on that specific provision. But
yeah, my attorney's my same guy for 25 years. He's in Orange County.
Sure. Well, he might not want to litigate it in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is I might talk to him and say, "Hey, bro, you got to throw a guy a bone. You got to take one for the team."
Here's what I'll say about commercial contracts.
Sure. They
have a template contract that they're going to modify lightly for every, for individuals, but largely, they're going to just put a bunch of favorable provisions that they would prefer, but they're not necessarily married to. So go ahead and negotiate it. I was working with a client who was negotiating a commercial retail space. It's 1,000 square feet, just a retail store. And, in that contract, which was 67 pages long, because it's one of the largest retail space owners in the nation, that they have contracts all over the country.
Sure.
They had a provision where if the HVAC went out on the building, that my client would be responsible for the entirety of replacing the HVAC system.
Yeah.
Now this is on a multi-unit strip mall, right? So we're talking they could be out $75,000 if the HVAC goes out. And so we just went ahead and we requested it to be limited to the costs associated with their particular unit, proportional to the amount of units that are out there and the size and all of that stuff. It was a very easy compromise. They just had it in their contract as an automatic provision because, why not? Yeah. Why not ask for the world? And take and then if a party has an attorney, well then they can negotiate it out. But yeah,
Nick, I've had the weirdest paragraphs thrown in by the studios into my stuff, like stuff that they try. I'm like going, oh, that's a good one, good try.
Yeah, that's the importance of having a good attorney, and the importance of having the experience in the industry that you do. That you know enough about the contracts to recognize and go, this is weird. I at least need to sniff this out and talk to someone.
Yeah, I mark it up with my lawyer. He's very good. Yeah, good conservative guy, by the way, too.
And by the way, I know lawyers seem expensive on contracts when you're starting out and you're a new person. There's honestly a lawyer negotiating your first contract. There's no better investment that you can do. No better. If you have a valuable product that people want and someone wants to contract with you to produce that product, if you're an artist, if you're a music producer, whoever, pay someone, crowdfund it, beg, borrow, pay a good contract attorney to look that over, because ask Tfue how it turns out.
Yeah. No, if I had a lawyer on my first contract I ever signed without bringing it to a lawyer, my whole life trajectory would be different. I'd probably be a billionaire and probably all coked out and dead somewhere. So it probably saved my life.
At least it's the best way to go.
That I didn't get a lawyer on my first contract.
Well, if you're being honest, if you had a lawyer on your first contract, would you still have the full rights to Earthworm Jim?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go, guys. Real life example. It took 20 years to claw those rights back.
Well, one of them, the book rights.
Right, the book rights. The book rights. Okay, next we've got Mr. Obi-Wan 2020 says, at this point, Chubb is going to grab a spray bottle and bad kitty them out of the courtroom. The judge's name is Chubb. Judge Chubb. It might be Chup, actually. Ryan Pond says, oh, wait, I read that one. Blaine 20 says, on the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall a matter be established. Brian Duig says, not 1, but 2 signed copies of Earthworm Jim. Happy 4th of July.
Very good. Thank you.
Dore Mifa Soul says, hi, Nick. Could you argue that you're a reporter? Oh, I'm absolutely a journalist. Within whatever definition of journalist you want in the state of Minnesota or Texas, I'm 100% an independent journalist. In the Oberlin versus Gibson trial, the college kept wanting to depose the media, and they could only ask very specific questions. Yep, they're gonna have to try and argue that I'm not a journalist. Again, I'm not going to make this easy for them. They will have to work for every single thing they ask for. And that's not me like threatening to artificially drive up costs. I'm not going to. I'm going to comply within the bounds of the law, as I've said over and over. But you will have to work for it because I take my journalistic integrity very seriously. I've refused.
Unlike other journalists that we know, you're the only.
I've refused to burn sources. I've refused to do so. Even to my own to criticism of me saying you don't have the information. It's like, well, you're just going to have to trust the fact that I've been right on all of this stuff, that I have the information and I'm choosing not to produce it. That will continue. Absolutely. And you will have to get a judge to compel me against journalistic privilege to get the information you're asking for. So
which is a tighter lockdown, attorney-client privilege or journalistic integrity?
Attorney-client privilege is the tightest lockdown there is.
Okay.
But journalistic, I mean, Minnesota has a specific journalism shield law to protect this, and it's very, very limited. Very limited. One of the exceptions is defamation cases, but the exception is narrowly construed within defamation cases to specific information.
Sure. They've
got a long road ahead. Globalist Juice says, I understand all your super chats piss off those C ***ints. So Kants.
Kants, I believe that is Kants.
Yeah. So here's another one. Thanks, buddy. Every game played says, can you teach us about Minnesota Shield laws? Seems like it's likely to be relevant. I'll save that for a whole stream. We'll do a whole stream on them at some point. Adafo says, hey, Nick, happy 4th. Here's $20 to blow up the sky for America. P.S. My cousin is a DA in Oklahoma. We have similar laws compared to Texas. Very minor differences. In his opinion, Vic has the higher ground over the defense. Oh, I mean, guys, I can't express enough. The lawyers on Twitter, Twitter, the only reason they're able to maintain their positions is because they're objectively and intentionally remaining ignorant of the facts of the case. That's the only way they can credibly obtain or retain their positions. I'm telling you, them saying that this case is done at TCPA or summary judgment, there's a possibility, as I have maintained, that Funimation or another party wins a TCPA or summary judgment. There's a possibility. Saying it's definite is a long shot. Saying that it's likely is a long shot. And anyone saying that any outcome in this is likely should be regarded a little bit dubiously. Sure. I have maintained that this is defamation cases are hard. They're hard. They're easy. And TI cases are hard. They're easier in Texas for TI, not for defamation. And they're easier when people write everything down in emails, texts, and tweets. That's a fact.
Because they're all providing all the evidence you need.
Yep. And they're writing it down and basically authenticating it. Okay, so finally, with regards to the foregoing, any and all of your automatic or routine document destruction policies or habits must be suspended. Therefore, until further notice, do not destroy, discard, alter, or erase any document or electronic information, whether already existing or created in the future, that relates in any way to the lawsuit or the materials. All documents and electronic information relating to the lawsuit must be preserved until further notice from counsel. Date range of materials to be preserved is at least January 1st, 2018 through trial or final dismissal of this matter, but do not limit preservation to those dates if you have relevant materials that fall outside of that range. Please forward this litigation hold letter to your legal counsel, if any, and to any individual or agent who may be in possession of any documents or materials relating to the lawsuit, or to any individual who has responsibility or control over any areas or devices where documents relating to the lawsuit may be maintained or stored. Your compliance is expected and appreciated. Should you have any questions, you may contact me directly. Well, if I ever get the letter, maybe I will.
This is just the notice of the notice.
Yeah, it's the notice of the notice, and like I said, they chose to attempt to dox me, and that stupidity has caused me not to receive their actual document. So, and you guys know, because we talked about it with Marky, that service of process is not something that courts screw around with. Service must be proper. And there are ways to serve people, and sending it to an address where they do not collect mail, probably and do not reside, probably not the
Yeah.
best way to do it.
Very professional, guys. Good job.
Hmm. Oh, hey Doug, I got a question for you.
Yeah, brother.
Well, no, this is a legal question. People are making a big deal out of the fact that early on in this case, I said, you don't want to do this. Defamation lawsuits are expensive. You should
Sure.
probably settle. What do you
Sure.
think of that?
I mean, my thing is this is me as an artist, right?
Yeah.
I never want to be in a courtroom. Never want to be in a courtroom. I would settle before I'd go into a courtroom. So
That's non-binding. So if you try and sue Doug, you're going to get screwed because he's actually a bulldog. He'll take you straight to court.
Yeah, that's the other problem is I will never concede to something I didn't do.
Right.
So like if someone sues me, whatever, I will go to the bone. I will go to jail. I do not care what I would lose. It's like, screw you. So like I would never do the Michael Jackson thing of paying someone off if it was a lie, right?
But let's say, you're facing a $70,000 legal bill or a settlement that is, really, really low cost. I have no details on any settlement deals, but let's say the settlement was 10 grand and an apology, or 70 grand. Wouldn't it be expected that a lawyer might suggest that you consider that?
Oh, absolutely. A lawyer would say, look, guy, do you want to get out of this thing quick? But really some lawyers actually like going into lawsuits. But yeah, I think normal people would take the plea. They would take it. I probably wouldn't, but that's kind of how I run my life, is I'll screw my whole life into the ground. These people should take it. I mean,
you'd almost expect your lawyer to say, hey, you should think about taking this.
Oh yeah.
Like, this isn't ridiculous
getting
advice.
his hourly rate and jacking up his hours.
Right.
I mean,
but here's the thing. I, of course, am not the lawyer to any party. I'm just a lawyer on the sidelines suggesting, you guys might want to think about settling because this gets really expensive. And they're trying to make a very big deal out of that. Like I'm somehow intimidating or pressuring them.
Oh, no.
I'm not the lawyer. I can't.
That's normal lawyer advice. Normal, because they could be in trouble. They should. I mean, I'm not even threatening them. They should be in trouble. They could easily lose this, and then they will pay 3 to 5 times what they're trying to avoid.
They'll be bankrupt.
Yeah.
There's no like that. That's the reality of the situation. Like I said, you can't afford these cases. They take too long. They cost too much. It's a product of the legal system. Yeah. And it's designed to encourage people to settle. It's a silly.
And deep down in their hearts, their goal was to destroy. I mean, I don't know their intent, but I'm only saying the actions that I saw were personal. We're trying to take out Vic's career. I don't know why they would do it, but it's what they were doing. And if that's what they did, then humility would be just to pay a quick settlement and be done with it. But if they go to the mat with it, then it's war, and then suddenly everyone's fees escalate.
Then they deserve the outcome.
And they deserve, absolutely. I'd have no regrets. Whichever way the jury decides, that's up to the jury to decide. That's how America works. It doesn't make it right. It means that's what the jury decides. And they're going to get taken to the cleaners, and that's too bad.
No regrets.
This is a unforced error, and they're walking right into it. And you know what? Their lawyer's going to tell them all day, let's do this, but give me 30%, but let's do this. And
well, that's up to them. Okay, so I have Doug. Let me just say, it's 1:30. Yes. I know you are not the latest person on the earth.
It is so my bedtime.
So I have another document to go through, and I'm going to go through it. Yeah, you do that,
and I'm going to jump.
Well, let me get my stupid face on screen again.
So get your face on screen so I can see you. Look upon your face with my face.
Yeah, there we go.
I am having a hard time not joking out. You're a faithful friend, is what I think.
I try,
And
buddy.
yeah, your backers were very good to me tonight. So
Let's get a final update here. $377,548. Buddy, you're slaying it, and much credit to the backers, of course. Thank you
it's
all.
the backers. It's your show. It's the chat. And guys, you don't understand what it's like to be. For 20 years, my career has been targeted by the Marxist rainbow and by just all the woke people. And I'm just a regular guy who believes in free speech, that I can still say in public I'm a conservative evangelical. And I know I have a ton of atheists and just people from all different walks of life supporting me. And there are people who believe in free speech. And you help make my life a little bit easier. And I'll show the beloved Miss Tenaple these numbers tomorrow. And I'm just saying, you don't know what it means to have a wife and 4 kids. And this is all I've got. I'm all in on just doing this book. And you guys backed me up. And it makes being an artist fun. It's fun.
Yeah, buddy. You deserve it, man. You deserve it.
Well,
Nary,
I don't deserve it, but thank you, Nick.
well, okay. Nary a better, more gracious host have I had than Doug TenNapel.
Oh, it's my pleasure, dude. I love playing with you. I send you the link on my show, but I know you always sleep in. So whenever you're ready to come on.
I do. And lately, my Lady Rackets had some surgery the other day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it was elective. And so she's been.
Did they get bigger?
Well, I mean, the jury's out on that one. I
guess we'll find out.
But no, she had some elective surgery, and she's been recovering from that. And
Good
so
girl.
lately, like I wake up in the morning. Morning is generous. I wake up around midday. And I look at my phone. I'm like, dang it, there's another Doug link. And I feel so bad, but I'm up and then I'm dealing with the kids because
I get it. You got to be a good dad. That is a good excuse to miss my show all the time. I just send you the link, and I expect guys to ignore it all the time. That's fine. But let me just pronounce, I pray God's blessings on you, you and your wife, and your family. May you be protected by God, not because you deserve his favor, but just because sometimes he does cool things. Blessings on you, protection on you. And when it all goes down, I know who has my back, brother. I know who has my back when it all goes down.
Always, buddy. Always.
That's right. God bless you, sir. Thank you. Good night. God bless you, chat. God bless you guys.
Have a good night. All right, guys. Doug is gone. We're going to do a little switcheroo here. Give me just a moment. I'm going to set up the... and by the way, thank you for supporting Doug so heavily. That is fantastic. We're gonna do this weird thing where I'm gonna move around. I'm gonna disappear for a second. We're gonna bring up the moving off of the Hangout onto this so I can get me. There we go. Then this guy over here. Now we've got it. Okay. So now we've got this. Oh, I need to get the chat in there. We're doing this live. But don't worry, the chat's coming. Load up, chat. Well, that's weird. Get it going. Come on, chat. There it is. All right, we're set. All right. Let's look at this next document. So this was just filed this afternoon, evening, whatever it was. This is a response to that notice to notice. Check out the GoFundMe for Vic. Okay. Let's see. Oh, wait, here we go. Here we go. Let me bring it up on screen here. The GoFundMe for Vic $188,256. Whoa! That is huge. It was that's a big increase. That's a big increase. Very, very awesome. We are getting there. We are getting towards that 200,000. I'm waiting to do a GoFundMe specific shows, looking to get those knives and stuff like that. So that is still coming. That is still coming. And believe me, guys, there's a lot of time for the GoFundMe, and there's a lot. I'm grifting you hard. There's a lot of need for the GoFundMe. I can't express enough how expensive this stuff is. And costs are typically more when you're fighting against multiple parties than each of those parties. So, anything that you do decide to contribute to the GoFundMe, again, only within your means. Please do not put yourself in any sort of financial trouble to donate to Vic or ever to super chat to me. Please don't do that. I would never, ever ask anyone to do that. If it's within your means and you feel compelled to do so, not through my voodoo mind witchery or whatever, but just out of your sense of justice or your like for Vic or whatever it may be, that's fine. If you do feel compelled, please continue to contribute if you're able. Please share it if you feel drawn to do that. But like I said, there's plenty of time in this case, and there will be a need for every single dollar. And in the miracle that there's enough money to get through all the legal fees, of course, any of the excess will be donated to the Dallas area battered women's shelter through the Salvation Army, I believe it is. So, all right, let's move on here. We've got here we go. X Sethrin 2035. Oh, I missed this before Doug left. Sorry. Got myself Earthworm Jim with head sketch and a full set of trading cards. I'm really excited about it. Here's a little bit of moolah for you, Nick, for keeping me entertained while driving nights. Hey, buddy, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's look into this motion to quash. This is interesting because this has some emails and stuff, so you can see what's going on behind the scenes. It's 29 pages, but the emails are included in the body of the text, and then they're included at the end, which inflates the page count. So we're going to go through the emails in the text. I don't believe that anything is left out, and I think it's more chronologically applied in the body of the motion. So we're probably just going to skip out on the end, but I'll scroll through them so that you guys, if you need to screen cap them or whatever to look at them, you can do that. Of course, you can find this on Research Texas yourself if you need to. Motion to quash. To the Honorable Judge of said court, Plaintiff Victor Mignogna requests that the court quash the notice of intent to serve subpoena for oral deposition and production of documents on Nick Rekieta. Attached hereto is Exhibit A, the notice, and would show as follows. Summary. While acknowledging that the filing of Defendant Funimation's motion to dismiss under the Texas Citizens Participation Act triggered the TCPA's automatic suspension of discovery, thus precluding their attempt to procure Mr. Rekieta. You spelled it wrong! Jim? Oh, you got it right up here. You got it wrong here. Bullock or Ty or whoever wrote this, get it right. Get the name right. Procure Mr. Rekieta's deposition and documents absent the court's permission. Defendant Monica Rial and Ronald Toye nonetheless filed their notice on July 2nd, 2019 before obtaining the court's permission. Background. July 1st, 2019, Defendant Funimation filed its Defendant Funimation Productions LLC's motion to dismiss under the TCPA. Following day, the day after Funimation filed, Monica and Ronald's counsel emailed Vic's counsel from Sean Lemoyne. In preparation of our anti-slap motion, we would like to take the deposition of Nick Rekieta. There's a K. I am not a 3/4 Nick. I am a full Nick. I will agree to limit my questioning to no more than 1.5 hours. Well, you don't want to hang out? You don't want to... I'm offended. You don't want to spend some time? Some QT? QT with a cutie? Assuming, of course, that he is... Listen to this smug pile of trash. Assuming, of course, that he is honest and straightforward with his responses. Not once. Not once have I lied. Not once. You embarrassment. My current plan is to take the deposition using vTestify, which would allow everyone to attend the deposition from their respective offices. Mr. Rekieta will be sworn in and videoed in Minnesota. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. Oh, but you have to win the motion anyway. Obviously, if you can get Mr. Rekieta to come to Texas, we can take it in person if he is more comfortable that way. Buddy, I've got 5 kids and a full schedule. Good luck. Otherwise, we will get a subpoena issued pursuant to MCR 45.01D. If he has a place that he would like to be deposed, we will, of course, accommodate such a request. My plan is to notice the deposition for August 2nd, 2019. That's a nice plan of yours. I believe I'm busy that day. I suppose I could check. Suppose I could check. Look at that. Stuff on the calendar already. Here's the problem, Sean. I have 5 children whom we homeschool. I have a busy travel schedule, and I stream on YouTube, pretty much every weeknight for a job. It's going to be hard to find a time where I'm available. Sorry. That's the reality. Let's see. Obviously, oh, wait. Given Funimation's anti-slap motion, we need agreement from the parties to avoid having to file a 27.006B motion. Also, it is not necessary, but all are certainly welcome that anyone else attend Mr. Rekieta's deposition. I will be happy to share the transcript. Please advise as to your position. Exhibit B here too at 2 to 3. Vic's counsel replied. Oh, so he's got Exhibit B attached here to July 2nd, 2019 email between counsel for Monica and Ronald and counsel for Vic. There you go. So Ty Beard responds, I do not represent Mr. Rekieta. That is true. That is true. Ty Beard is not representing me in this matter at this time. He has not been authorized to act in my capacity. To Law Twitter out there, I am not in control of Ty Beard. I did not request this motion to quash. That is their legal strategy, and that is between Vic and Ty, not me. So when you suggest that I have anything to do with this, I don't. Now, I will resist this and make them earn it, absolutely, as I would expect you would do if you were practicing as well. I will make them earn this deposition. They have several hurdles to overcome, and those hurdles are of their own making, as they have had somewhere around 70 days to notice me for deposition, and they had chosen not to do so until after a TCPA was filed. That's their fault, not mine. They can go ahead and procedurally do this. I'm not Ron Toye, right? I didn't say I would produce everything, and then when the opportunity to produce it came up, welch out on that deal, and then say, well, we're hiding behind the legal process. No. I will openly oppose you bringing me into this suit in any capacity because it is irrelevant. I don't have the information that you want. And so if you're going to try and pry some communication out of me or try and intimidate me, earn it, bitch. Earn it. I have no desire to comply with you. I think all of you are scum. And that's, we'll just set it that way. We'll just set it that way. Okay, you'll need to contact him about this, which is true, and sadly you haven't done so. I don't see what purpose within the meaning of 27.06B related to the motion this deposition would serve, so I do not agree to the deposition at this time. If you'll articulate what the valid purpose is, I'll reconsider. Since you'll have to articulate this to the court anyway, there doesn't seem to be any particular reason to not tell me now. Also, I'm not available August 2nd, 2019. So there you go. A few minutes later, Monica's and Ronald's counsel outlined their objective. Mr. Beard, here are a couple of purposes. Oh, these are great. These are great. Mr. Rekieta can offer his quasi-expert testimony as to the public figure status of Mr. Mignogna. As you know, Mr. Rekieta is something of a YouTube personality in his own right, and apparently, on his own initiative, he set up a GoFundMe page that raised over $180,000. Closing in on 190, buddy. Closing in on 190. Collecting tears in mugs along the way. Mr. Rekieta runs an almost nightly YouTube channel in which Mr. Mignogna is discussed. Apparently, this started occurring well before the lawsuit was even filed. 2017, November of 2017, probably November 6th, if I remember right, was the first Maddox video. And while the schedule has increased since then, that was when the channel started, long before I had ever heard the name Vic Mignogna. So, yeah. That's true. Would you like to stipulate that Mr. Mignogna is a public figure? That would resolve this particular issue. Look at that shameless... Look, if you'll just agree to make our case a lot easier, if you'll just agree to make your client's life worse, then that'll resolve it. So if you just want to go ahead and do that, that'd be fine. Yeah, right. Why on earth would they stipulate to that? Why on earth would anyone stipulate to that? Oh my goodness. One of the purposes, so this is section 2. One of the purposes of Texas anti-SLAPP is a deterrence mechanism for people that file retaliatory lawsuit. Mr. Mignogna effectively disavowed the GoFundMe page. I don't think he disavowed the GoFundMe page, but you can take that interpretation. I guess we'll see when the transcripts of that deposition come out, right? Including the uses of the money, with the exception that we know he is not paying you. If Mr. Mignogna is effectively insulated from legal costs in this matter and has an unlimited source of funds to fuel his litigation strategy against people that speak out against him, about him, that magnifies the type of sanction that we are entitled to request. I actually don't think that's true at all. At all. Riddle me this. What case law are you going to cite that suggests that because people have raised funds for their legal defense from other sources, that you're entitled to a bigger sanction against them? Also, the amount of any information about that, by the way, the amount of the GoFundMe is publicly available on the GoFundMe page. So whatever you're saying, this is weasel language. This is weasel language to suggest that somehow the GoFundMe money, the amount of money in the GoFundMe is not accessible to them. Look, buddy, you can read on the page how much money has been raised through the GoFundMe, and then you can read their terms of service. I know it's hard, but you're a lawyer, you'll get through it, and you'll find out what their cut of that money is, and then you can figure out exactly how much money is available, probably within a couple pennies worth of value. You can just go ahead and do that on your own. There's nothing that I can provide to you that will help you figure this out. And if you're going to try and argue in court that because he had supporters raise legal funds for him, that you're entitled somehow to that money because they raised support for him, I mean, good luck at trial. But if you win at TCPA, you're entitled to reasonable attorney's fees and an appropriate reasonable sanction. That sanction doesn't become somehow more reasonable because other people have made the money to file suit available. That's a weird thing. No one is more qualified to address that topic than Mr. Rekieta. Well, I guess we'll see, right? And then 3, it is obvious that Mr. Rekieta and Mr. Mignogna speak on a regular basis about this lawsuit, have communicated in writing in ways that have since been destroyed by Mr. Mignogna, and those topics are clearly relevant to Mr. Mignogna's claims. Certainly, who Mr. Mignogna wanted to target with this war chest is relevant. Why? Why would that be relevant? That seems like that would fall into attorney-client privilege and would be related to Mr. Mignana's conversations with his legal counsel, not with me. Not with me. And those certainly. In particular, if perhaps it was expressed that the articles in IO9, Gizmodo, Anime News Network, etc., were the source of Mr. Mignana's harm. I mean, that's your theory, I suppose. You've tried to make that clear, that your clients are not at fault. I don't know what basis you have for thinking that Vic thinks that. I'd be interested to know. Nix Hex says, Vic disavowed the GoFundMe because he's not proud of it. In fact, he never even read it all the way through. The only parts he still stands by are the second and fourth paragraphs, which should be taught at Twitter law school. I don't know that that's true. I don't know anything about it. We'll have to find out if the transcripts of the depositions ever released. Yet, for unknown reasons, the GoFundMe's largesse is not being spent on those more obvious purveyors of injury to your client's reputation. Sure, a couple of journalistic pieces that that no one really gives much credibility to, or maybe the company that fired him and said and implied that he was guilty of sexual assault and harassment, and his close friend and colleague of 20 years validating all of that by saying that it happened to her falsely. Her little cuck fiance relentlessly adding fuel to that fire. And then another voice actress whom he's known and worked with for over a decade. Also piling on. Those didn't do any damage. It was actually the articles in IO9 and Anime News Network. Oh, by the way, which used some of those people as sources. It's those that did it, not the actual people in the industry that matter significantly, that Funimation listened to when they made their firing decision, and that firing decision giving validity, at least an implied validity, to all of the claims against him. Yeah, it's the Anime News Network article, though. That's the one that did it. All right. Are you available for July 23rd to 26th? August 2nd, 5th through 9th, 8th through 12th, or 15th through 19th. Alternatively, if you are simply opposed, we will proceed accordingly and the court can pick the date. Vic's counsel questioned the stated objective from Ty Beard. I don't find these reasons persuasive. Mr. Rekieta has no qualification to testify as to Mr. Mignana's alleged status as a public figure. Hey, don't rain on my parade, Ty. I'm a quasi-expert. Nor do I find your GoFundMe arguments and inaccurate factual assertions relevant to the motion to dismiss. Problem? It appears to me that you want to conduct discovery that is far broader than the 27.006B envisions, so I am opposed. Your clients had 70 plus days to conduct this kind of discovery before any motions were filed. Monica and Ronald filed the notice that day, July 2nd at 3:43 p.m. The following morning, July 3rd, Vic's counsel requested that Monica's and Ronald's counsel pull down the notice. From Ty Beard, if you do not withdraw your deposition notice this morning, we will file a motion to quash and for a protective order. Discovery stay is in effect and this notice is improper. Please advise whether you will comply with this request. If I don't hear from you by this afternoon, I'll assume that you aren't willing to withdraw it and proceed. So then Sean Lemoyne says, Mr. Beard, I'm not sure I'm following you. There isn't anything to quash/protect because the condition precedent, an order allowing discovery under 27.006B hasn't been triggered. There is no subpoena going out, which is explicitly what I identified in the notice. See the highlighted sections below. Then why'd you file it? Why'd you file it? You didn't have to file this. Why'd you file it? Very clever, right? You're very clever filing it when you didn't need to. As to the discovery stay, while it is debatable whether Funimation's anti-slap motion stays discovery as to Miss Rial/Miss Toye, I'm not trying to end run that putative stay, hence my explicit caveat that the notice will issue upon entry of an order. Again, why'd you file it? You don't need to do that. You could just actually request. You have to motion, and you haven't made the motion. You've just noticed the court that you intend to make a motion and then intend to notice me if the motion is successful. This filing makes no sense, and you know it because you know why you did it. You know why you did it. I would prefer to work through issues without court intervention. I bet you would. I bet you would on this one, which you will recall, and I have reattached for your review, that I reached out to you in an attempt to work this out. You refused. We don't need an order from the court if all the parties agree to allow the discovery to go forward. None of the parties are even required to attend and might not attend as cost-saving measures. I don't think a motion to quash/protect is in good faith. I don't think your filing this was in good faith, and I think you know that, and I think that's why you don't want to go to court on it. Because if your filing was in good faith and makes sense, you would have no problem going to court and getting a win. You guys need it. And I doubt Judge Chupp is going to appreciate you filing one. And listen to this. If they couldn't telegraph it harder, or spending the GoFundMe monies on an issue that is not ripe. God, it burns harder than hemorrhoids for these people that GoFundMe exists. You guys, like for all of me pissing them off, for all of Vic pissing them off, Vic's mom, Vic's supporters out there, you guys funding that GoFundMe have pissed them off more than anybody else by a metric mile. That's a joke. That's a joke. By anything. I mean, there is nothing. Look at it. It's dripping in every single thing that they're doing right now. They can't get it out of their heads. They can't get around the fact that Vic is not dead in the gutter. They don't know what to do. Don't know what to do. Here we go. That said, I cannot stop you from filing any motion, regardless of whether I consider it not in good faith or for the purposes of harassment. Purpose of harassment. A bold statement, Jay Sean, publishing my address for no purpose that the court can discern. Prior to your motion even being granted. And you're talking about the purpose of harassment? Really? Well, that's interesting. Should you file a motion, please properly note in the certificate of service that we consider the issue not ripe. Then why'd you file? Why'd you file? Also, I am out of the office quite a bit next week. Please confer with me as to dates. Finally, if there's some other accommodation to the taking of Mr. Rekieta's deposition other than a flat no, I'm willing to listen. Perhaps Judge Chupp will have some ideas. Oh, I'm sure he might. I'm sure he might ask you, why in the hell would we bring this random commentator under the jurisdiction of a Texas subpoena for your TCPA? Articulate with clarity the reasons for it. In response, Vic's counsel explained that a motion for permission to undertake discovery during the automatic suspension of discovery under the Texas Citizens Participation Act was a prerequisite to the notice. Ty Beard says, I think your remedy is to file a motion to conduct limited discovery per TCPRC 27.006B. However, since you have not yet filed a motion to dismiss under the TCPA, you do not qualify for such relief, as the statute very clearly states that the court may allow limited discovery related to the motion. I also contend that Funimation's filing stays all discovery in the case. In any case, I will quash the deposition subpoena this afternoon. I wouldn't want the court to inadvertently sign an order authorizing the additional discovery. You can set a hearing or file a motion to allow limited discovery as you please. Monica and Ronald's counsel, however, disagreed. Sean Lemoyne says, Mr. Beard, your remedy is to wait till we file a motion for leave, which is precisely what I have told you we will do. Then why'd you file this, Sean? Why'd you file it? I think Ty might be right. I think you hoped that the judge would just go ahead and sign the order if he left it unopposed. Not only does a court not issue an order on a non-existent motion, in almost 19 years, I've never a court sua sponte authorize a subpoena that it isn't being requested to issue. But you wouldn't argue that, would you? You'd argue that you did notice the court. That's what you'd argue. You'd file a motion and say, by the way, we noticed this. It's unopposed. So if you go ahead and grant this additional discovery, then we can go ahead and notice this guy. You know, the other law firm hasn't opposed. No counsel has raised objections. That was the plan, right? That, and of course, publishing my home address, which again is not my home address, but that's okay. That's okay. I assume Mr. Rekieta is pressuring you to take a strong stance. You know what assumption means? Assumption makes an ass out of you and me, right? That's the joke. If you assume ass out of you and me, but it's just you in this case. I have not pressured Ty in any way to do this. It would likely be far more profitable for me to go ahead and engage in a deposition with you. It would most likely be in my monetary best interest to do so. I have not pressured Ty in any way to quash this. Ty did not consult with me whether or not he should quash this, because this is not part of Ty and I's relationship. This is a response in Ty and Vic's legal strategy. I know it's hard in the back of the class while you're sitting there drooling and your para is on their cell phone not paying attention to you, but I get it. Try and remember who the party to this lawsuit is. That's Vic, not me. So for all of your whinging and whining about this, I have no influence over what Ty does about this because you still haven't sent me anything. You still haven't served me anything in this case. I do not have a response. So please stop trying to put words in my mouth. I have a platform to put words straight out to the public every single night, as you well know. I will again state, I have not conferred with Ty on this. This is their decision, part of their legal strategy. It would be in my best interest to do the deposition. Now, I've openly stated I will resist you at every step because I will make you earn the right to do the deposition. You don't get to pull me into this lawsuit with my willing consent. Sorry, I don't operate that way. I'm not involved in this lawsuit, and I will contend that I don't have any relevant data for you. Not a single bit of it. But if you want to force the deposition and force the subpoena, get your clients to pay you, and then we'll talk about it. All right. Next, we've got Anthony Siebert says, Nick, we won this. We can wrap things up now and go to the next war zone. Pack it all up, boys. Off to the next planet. Off the planet, Cuck. Bring some heavy flamers, dreadnoughts, and a good battalion of custodians. Absolutely. All right, finally, both of you should review how subpoenas work in Texas. See Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 176. I strongly caution you not to set that motion hearing. He doesn't have to. That's the funny thing. You would have to. A few minutes later, Vic's counsel cordially ended the debate. Your advice is appreciated and will be given all the consideration it deserves. Oh my goodness. Argument. Once a motion to dismiss is filed under the TCPA, all discovery in the case is suspended until the court rules on the motion to dismiss. Texas Civil Practice and Remedies Code 27.003C. Hence, the notice is precluded by and was filed in violation of the suspension of discovery under CPRC 27.003C. Yet, on a motion by a party or on the court's own motion and on a showing of good cause, the court may allow specified and limited discovery relevant to the motion to dismiss before the court. But Monica and Ronald have not filed a motion for permission under CPRC 27.006. So the notice is premature. Even if the automatic suspension did not apply, and even if Monica and Ronald had complied with CPRC 27.006 before serving the notice, the scope of the matters of inquiry sought by the deposition and document production must still be limited as prescribed by the rule, i.e. relevant to the motion to dismiss before the court. However, Monica and Ronald's stated desire for Mr. Rekieta's deposition is to prepare their motion to dismiss, which they have not filed. Exhibit B at 2, and see also Exhibit A at page 6. Documents which Monica and Ronald want Mr. Rekieta to produce. Thus, the notice is threefold improper under the rule. Moreover, because this motion to quash is filed within 3 business days of the notice being served on Vic, the notice is automatically stayed until the court can rule on this motion to quash. Texas Rules of Civil Procedure 199.4. Prayer. Wherefore, Victor requests that the court quash the notice and award him such other and further relief to which he may be entitled at law or in equity. Plaintiff prays for general relief. There you go. Signed by Ty Beard. So it must have been Ty who wrote it. A certificate of conference and service. And then there you go. Here's the same thing. Petition to subpoena, all that stuff. Subpoena and depose. Document production requests. And then here are the emails. Here are the emails again. They're in reverse order, right? Because they came through. I'm pretty sure every email that's included here is actually in the motion in its full text. But if anybody finds anything else, you know, that's up to you guys to go ahead and do it. I'm just scrolling through it kind of slowly to allow for people to take screenshots if they want these. Of course, you can always just go produce the documents from Research Texas, or they're probably up on Kiwi Farms or some other website. Even Shane's Dropbox folder, which you could check out. He may have them there. But I'm sure he does because my home address is on it, and he was very, very happy that they did this. So there you go. Well, and again, I must reiterate, not actually my home address, what they believe to be my home address, but I moved. Sorry. I have a mailing address where I will gladly accept any service at that mailing address. You can go ahead and just mail it there. And if you include in your mailing a letter, an affidavit of service of process, I would actually fill it out and respond to you. You know, there are plenty of ways you could contact me. I'm sort of publicly available, and you can find this information all over the place. You also have not sent me an email to my email address that I actually receive email at, especially business-related email, which I would think this is probably business and personal as it relates to me and the YouTube. So if you've sent me any emails to any alternative addresses that you may think I have in control, I absolutely do not. I don't have any other email addresses you may be thinking in control, or I'm not in control of those email addresses. The one I would suggest is rekietalaw@rekieta.org. It's the one that's listed in the description of the streams. It's the one that's publicly available by a Google search, and it's along with my office phone number and the P.O. box where I accept mail. So you should consider properly sending documents my way rather than trying to improperly, ham-fistedly, and transparently release what you believe to be my home address. That's a little disingenuous of you. Lunar sends a super chat and says, 190,000 boys. Might take a sec to refresh, but it's there. No. Let's get it pulled up on stream. We're done with the motion here. Let's check this out. Let's check it out. $190,000. $190,055 with a huge donation from Lunar. Whoa, buddy. Thank you so much for that. That is massive. I can't express to you how much of a blessing this is to someone whose income was severely hampered by the actions of other people. So that really does mean a lot, and thank you for doing that. And again, let me just go ahead and point out, I do not get a penny from the GoFundMe. Not a penny. I couldn't even if I wanted to. And because I'm actually ethical and because I actually have a moral compass, I never would want to take a cut of it. Not a red cent from it. One of the reasons I picked GoFundMe, because I knew that they would send it directly away from my control. I would never have access to it. So there you go. There's a whole bunch of super chats to get through. So we can do those. And then I will close out the show. I have a very early morning, so I will need to go, and I will not be able to do Twitch tonight. I will see if I can find some time to do Twitch tomorrow. I want to do Twitch tomorrow. I need to have a couple unique days. I just can't justify it tonight because I've got to get some sleep before my very early morning tomorrow for the 4th of July. So if you, as many people do, if you do buzz out before the super chats, thank you for watching. Thank you for being such great supporters of me and Doug and anybody else, you know, like Tug and any other projects that we've talked about on the show. I hope that you'll continue to support artists that you like and art that you like and want to consume. It's what keeps us going. It really is. It's what allows us to do this. And you guys making that possible means the world to guys like me and Doug. So thank you for that. Now I'm going to go through the super chats. We'll start with the Justice chats. Sigma Zero says, when do you join Doug on a sardine stream? I gotta be alive at the time that Doug is streaming, and lately I have not been. Crusader Saracen says, sorry, it's been a while since I super chatted, Nick. It's been hard to catch a stream. Just want to support your work and say Godspeed. Also, if you get deposed, please play the best FF games with F-boy lawyer Casey Eric. It'll be freaking gold. I'm sure it'd be Jay Sean who would do the deposition rather than Casey. I don't know why Casey seems averse to doing depositions, but that's where that is. Crusader Saracen says, also, you should bring Micah Curtis on to talk about the Indiegogo campaign for his new comic, Englewood, and about a disgraced MMA champion taking a stand against the corruption and crime of Chicago. Would also be a good chance for a weeb stream. That sounds like a cool book, man. I'll have to check it out. Doom Guy says, if only Shane's dad used a sturdier condom 50 years ago, imagine how much better the world would be. Just imagine. Oh my goodness. Oh, what's a... Imagine no Shane Holmberg. It's easy if you try. No shoes on his cutting boards. Below him a chair that's dry. Imagine all the soy milk living through the day. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Terrible. Terrible. TLJ Screwjob says, why the hell did Moronica keep referencing Rooster Teeth throughout this lawsuit? Because Miles Luna, a co-writer of Ruby, told Monica, we're here if you need us. And then Jen doing hashtag kick Vic and Shannon being Shannon. Please, Morons, drag Rooster Teeth into this. Oh. Oh my goodness. Kay says, what if the defense team tries to tattle to the judge with you explaining what Kavanaugh did to America? Go ahead. They can do whatever. They can do whatever. Let's see. Zoda Soda says, I'm curious what Doug's opinion would be if the new Earthworm Jim game, Princess What's-Her-Name, gets the Battle Turds Dark Queen treatment. We know what the industry is like now. That would be a shame. That would be an absolute shame. Do Re Mi Fa Sol La says, every time Moron will add your name in an official document, I'll try to make a small donation because you are the leader of the cult. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let's see. If Nick actually has to produce Justice chats, I want to make sure it's on the record that Lemoyne sucks dick for money. Whoa. This is from Gay and Still at Large. Let me be clear on that. If you consider this defamation, I can be served in the middle of I-35W. Make sure you stand there for a while to make sure I get it. Oh my God. Pizza Mon says, do they expect you to stall so that the legal funds for Vic dry up? I don't know what they expect. I don't know what they expect. Gay and Still at Large says, I think we can hit 200K before the end of Independence Day. Do you boys? God bless Nick, God bless Vic, and God bless America. Flandre Scarlett says, how can Casey do the deposition if he's busy bringing the snacks? Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. And then finally, Short Round says, can we address Shane's Iron Cross tattoo? It's a dog whistle to the alt-right. Also, since mall cops want to sue me, I can be served at 1000 Colonial Farm Road, McLean, Virginia, 22101. Thoughts and potatoes all around. Thank you, Short Round, for that. Thank you, Short Round. Tribian says, Average Joe reading Funimation's tweet, Vic confirmed guilty. Exactly. That's the biggest problem with Funimation's tweet. There's no way a reasonable person reads that tweet and thinks they definitely didn't fire him for sexual harassment or assault. That's Funimation's biggest problem, and they know that. They know that. Hated 7 DTD says, Doug is a great guest. Thanks for introducing me to so many fun personalities. On that topic, Drexel, I got to get Drexel on the show again, but it's all just when he has time. When he has time to come out to my house, and his kid can play with my kids. Bacon Z here says, if you have the time to report on this, I'd love to see your coverage of Judge James Troiano's decision regarding underage rapist GMC. I have no idea about that. I'll have to see if I can find something. Firefly567 says, take my free chat, Nikki, lol. Happy 4th of July. Hey, thanks, buddy. Rando number 9 says, since it's the 4th, can we ban all Europores from the chat? No way, man. No way. We pity Europeans for not having the same speech protections that we have. But we envy Europeans, well, some of them, for their food. There you go. Timothy Reaper says, nice try, Nick, but even if you change the official start time, you're still late and gay. Verticon says, have $5. I wish I could give more considering all the entertainment you provide. Excited that this is the first show I'm catching live. Hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Welcome to the show. Tamch89, thanks for the donation. Jane James, thank you for the donations. HH says, hashtag I stand with Nick. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Breakdance Express says, salty tears to make the best Laffy Taffy, only the finest. Lil Poo Poo says, Doug, who'd win Godzilla versus Earthworm Jim? Oh, Earthworm Jim, for sure. Deether says, I know it's not polite to talk about it himself, but I'm happy that a whole country from the other side of the ocean is celebrating my birthday. Happy 4th of July to you all from France. Hey, thanks. Bonjour. Merci beaucoup. Zoer 111619 says, take my YouTube chat. Well, thank you. Andrew War Snowboard says, are you bringing the 1K Patreon goal to Road Rage, Minnesota? Maybe. I'll have to see if I can get it. I can't have it delivered to Minnesota. It's too big. We'll have to see what we can do. BDS Empire says, please file this under Bates 0000245. Looking forward to the new comic, Doug. I love the stretch goals. Awesome. Thank you so much. Chaos Song says, Doug, your voice sounds like Jeff Bridges from Tron. Mr. DJ Fly Eye says, hey, Doug, who came up with the Earthworm Jim intro song, and did you laugh when you first heard the song the first time? Also, Doug, would you ever come to the land down under? Sorry, I hopefully we can send that to him. Onyx Robot, going to the UK. See you in 2 weeks. Burn it all. There you go. Matthew Niedig says, big books are great. Something to be said about the smaller paperbacks that have some road miles on them. They've definitely got their own charm. Oh, they're I don't like them on the shelf. I do like them in the hand. Right? That's the trick. Ralph Panino, thanks for the donation. Wallart Denova, thank you for the donations. Gawker's Death Rattle says, hey, Doug, I'm sold. Where do I go to buy? Well, if you didn't already, Indiegogo Earthworm Jim. And it's actually in the description, Earthworm Jim. I have it in there. So, Dave to Save 26 says, evening, Nick. So question, if you sign an NDA with a company and then find out later that the company owes you a ton of money, can that company be sued for breach of contract? Possibly. It depends on the terms of that contract. And if, oh, excuse me. if the NDA is incorporated with that contract or related to it. I mean, if they owe you the money under contract, then you can sue them for breach of contract. What you can say about it in regards to the NDA and whether or not the NDA is void due to the breach, that's a more specific question that you really want local counsel on. The Craig Den says, I came here for Nick, but oh my God, new Earthworm Jim. Rick Nikita says, please tell Doug that the only God is the Emperor. Mike C says, Earthworm Jim is my religion now. Koopa Crew says, I'm a little too uptight for orgies. Quote Doug to Naple. Oni Renja says, Doug, you're a man after my own neuroses. Hasio190 says, for Doug, are you still unwilling to speak about Mothman and the extent of your involvement with it? Woodman Gaming says, 200K for Thoughtwater. Betas will buy anything. T. Greg Doucette says, 1. Oh, you want some Rackets bathwater, T. Greg? Cesario JPN says, that bathwater has more yeast than a bread loaf. Oh, filthy. Jay says, Ricada bathwater whiskey. You're welcome. Woodman Gaming says, can get an assortment of acid cigars at Westside. I'll have to check. I've never looked at Westside cigar selection. I'll have to check it out. Let's see. Okay, I read those. I have to make sure I didn't miss any of these 20s. Twilight Dragon 3 says, just back the Earthworm Jim comic. Thanks, Doug, for all you do. Nick, keep up the fight against the cucks. SM Scorix 89 says, sent Vic an email saying Doug wants to talk to him. A Burley Knowles says, so Funimation wins TCPA, is the lawsuit over, or are they just out and the other defendants have to try the same thing? No, Funimation wins the TCPA. Funimation is removed from the action, and the remedies for Funimation apply. Everybody else has to file their own. DNA Crows, thanks for donations. Brian Duig says, wait, they doxed someone not part of the trial? Well, they were attempting to dox me, but I don't live there. So that's them being weird. A2P, thank you for the donation. Lunar says, oh, now they're assuming genders? The fools. Joshua Ryan, thanks for donation. Christian T says, LMAO, this is very epic adult bullying. DCV Titan says, but what kind of wood is he saying hey to? Birch, oak, pine, mahogany, morning, cedar, maple? No idea. No idea. Lots of options there. Mike is contentious. Thank you for the donation. Cody Byer says, if you want, I can record another GoFundMe shill speech for you to play. Well, I'm going to have you on soon, I think, Cody. Guys, I think Cody and I might have something special for you, but I can't announce what it is just yet. Just know, I think Cody will be perfect for it, and it'll be great. Great show, and you'll want to see it. You'll want to see it. No One Important says, oh no, I'm going to donate again. Curse you, Nick, and your brainwashing lawyerly ways. By the way, happy 4th to the both of you. Hey, thank you. Thank you. DCV Titan says, Nick, they said they wanted it labeled. They didn't say they wanted it clearly or helpfully labeled. Label everything the same in 2-point font. Pasta Cat, thanks for the donations. You can call me Al. Thanks for the donations. Caboose Mobile says, unfortunate for Ronica that you and Vic communicated with Flag Semaphore while standing on 2 faraway sailboats. Also donate to the GoFundMe. If not for Vic, then do it to jumble Ronica's jelly beans. Lunar says, the GoFundMe is at 187K. We're over 190 now. Yeet. Architect of Fate says, if they happen to win the deposition request, would it be reasonable for you to produce in transcript and recording all streams Vic is mentioned in? No, they can publicly get that. They don't need my help for it. And YouTube goes ahead and publishes the transcripts for them. So I'll just direct them with links or whatever. Lunar says, closing in on 188K. Do it. Do it. Raider J says, the knowledge they're not getting paid is probably the reason they're Hail Marrying this TCPA this hard. Guys, it's so transparent. They're not. Are we still? How are we doing here? Oh, it says it's back now. Okay, weird. They clearly hate battered women. I mean, that's the only reasonable conclusion we can draw, and I think it's true. I think they do hate battered women. In the time it took you to estimate the case's hourly rate, the GoFundMe got that rate in donations. Valley Girl voice, I'm so proud of this community. Thane Cotter says, it sounds more like fishing for your sources, not docs. Well, no, they attempted to do the docs. Now they are fishing for the sources, I'm sure. Now, if only Minnesota had journalist shield laws. Oh, hi, Mark. Let's see. Blue Dragon Custom says Kick Vic is now going to try to find him doxing. They can try. The closest they'll find is me showing what was it? Marky's address after Shane had already released it to the public. I showed Marky's address on stream when she was trying to dodge service. Other than that, I believe I'd redacted all of them. But if you find one, I mean, go ahead. Go ahead and point it out. If I'm wrong, I will gladly admit to it. Lunar says, we hit 188K. Absolute mad lads. We're over 190. Anthony Siebert says, okay, Doug TenNapel, you got me to buy another comic. Keep the dream alive of good comics and anime. Let's see. DCV Titan says, journalism is dead. Long live urinalism. Diablo says, I now know the cause of global warming. Nick's rants get so incredibly hot that even Europe feels the heat. No one important says, Shane Holmberg, quote, he is hiding incriminating evidence from the public, lol. He is accusing you of deleting and hiding evidence you don't have, confirmed. Shane can think whatever Shane wants. I don't want to try and put myself in that mind. But no. Got very, very little for you. Sorry. God. And you got to earn it first. You got to earn it first. I'll tell you, I don't have anything relevant to your motion, your anti-slap motion. That's just silly. And yeah, I'd be willing to go ahead and tell whoever needs to be told that I don't have anything for you. But Islazen says, just an update from my last donation. Surgery went fine. Everyone's home and tired, and baby's happily having a bottle. That is great. Oh my gosh, that's good news. Thank you so much for informing us on that. Atofose says, he also said your deposition against First Amendment. What? I don't know what he means by that. Urahara Kasuke says, can we mention mosquitoes in the transcript? I hear Jay Sean likes mosquitoes. Google it. Okay. Weird. Nick Zvanet says, Doug, I look forward to the comic. Thank you so much. Indie Visualist says, please live stream the depot so you can tell them you have to interrupt the proceedings. Every time there's a $20 super chat, you'll make millions. Selecta Boy says, big ups to you, Doug, and hopefully you continue the Earthworm Jim series for eternity. Tricky Dicky 961, thank you for the donation. Scrotus Swatch says, August 2nd, my birthday. If it happens, give them hell. Won't happen on August 2nd. Won't happen at all on August 2nd. Mr. Dr. Crow says, love the content, Nick, drinking Glenfiddich 15. Thank you. Lunar says, that's some grade A pink Himalayan salt right there. Tell you what. Where did we go? Here we go. Nick's Hex says, if Asterios can be a corporation, you can be a journalist. Michael LaValle says, if Funimation's TCPA succeeds, is the case done? Nope, just in regards to Funimation. Oak 1971 says, if Ty Beard were a Primarch, which one would he most closely resemble? Which one is angry? Angron. Timothy Reaper says, don't put words in Nikki's mouth. It's reserved for Sweaty Sausage and Jim's toes. Always. Rolana 1 says, question, could these dopes be sanctioned for pulling this crap? They could. I don't think they will. But it's certainly possible. Judge must be getting annoyed at this by now. Synac 8 says, heads up, YouTube just asked me about how satisfied are you with this video. The video is this stream. Weird, right? That's kind of weird. Yeah. But it'll probably get all of my videos lately. All of my streams have been temporarily demonetized and then confirmed good on manual review. So I'm guessing that's just going to happen, all of them. But, you know, what do you do? They do tend to get confirmed lately on manual review to be fine outside of a few exceptions. Solo Beverly says, what's the YouTube stream tomorrow, my guy? I don't know yet. I don't know. I got to figure that out. Fluffy Side Up says, if they're going to subpoena you, Ty should subpoena Shane and just ask him questions about how his shoe diet and the abuse of his chair. That'd be hilarious. But it'd be a waste of money and it'd be frivolous, right? Because it's pretty clear that Shane doesn't know much of anything that's useful. Lunar says, time to restock the war chest. Thanks for the entertainment, Nick. Y'all take care. Hey, thanks, buddy. I really do appreciate the big donation. Bad Dragon Knight says, happy 4th, Nick. Someone remix that Shane song. Sharon Young says, did you get my email RE lyric video from Sat Scout? I think so. It's the whiskey drinking lawyer lyric video, right? I think so. Echo, thanks for donation. Heartbreak One says, just wanted to make woke Twitter God bless you, Nick and Doug. May you have a happy 4th of July and all the awesome people in the chat. Pub Test says, is the GoFundMe info seriously all they want? Bait stamp Lemony Cuck 1. Jack Dirac, thanks for the donation. Lastol 1 says, Pokemon B&W is best Pokemon. Cesario JPN says, friend in England texted happy Trader Day. Rude. Arclich Steve says, can we please tag in Rooster Teeth? Lol, need more salty tears. GRP Poll says, I hope all these streams get put into evidence. MMA Force says, do you think this will pass the lawsuit in comedy? I didn't think so, but we're getting there. Blaine 20 says, did you get your special delivery of Belle Delphine's used bathwater? Just wondering. All of it. I bought all of it. Gaiden Hexes, thanks for donation. GR People says, stream delay caused that drop to jump us to the future. It was trippy, Nick. Weird. John Sargent says, I would tell Casey to go F himself, but he would likely find a way to cuck himself. Gaiden Hexes, thanks for the donation. Cardinal Crimson says, it's so funny how opposite everyone is on Cody. Half love him and half hate him with next to no middle ground. I love Cody. Cody's great. And I get some of his, what am I doing here? I forgot how I had this thing set up. I get some of his sentiments, and I don't think his criticisms were entirely invalid or anything like that. And I know that they were made in good faith. So again, Cody and I are going to have a show at some point when it's really appropriate. And I think you guys are going to really like it. Trust me, you probably don't know what it is, but that's okay. I think you're going to enjoy it. All right, I'm going to play the outro song. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We're going to have to do... I got to stop the outro song. I got to fix my... I got to make it so that it's going through the right audio here. This one. Let's try again. There it is. There's that outro song. Outro music is starting. All right. Oh, we got a couple more justice chats that came in. We'll read those and then we'll be done for the night. TLJ Screwjob says, I'm sure Rooster Teeth would love to be brought into a lawsuit when the show they fired Vic from is going to air in October, and then people can ask them on Twitter. Also, good thing I never asked you, are the Rooster Teeth people not kick Vic because of this depot stuff? Short Round says, I'm sorry, you can find my Texas address for service at 819 Taylor Street, 5th floor, Fort Worth, Texas, 76102. I donate $3.50 because one time a GD Loch Ness Monster tried to get me to buy Girl Scout cookies. If they really wanted my info, maybe buy a patch. There you go. All right, guys. That's the show for tonight. That's the show. Thank you so much for your support for the GoFundMe, your support for me, again, and your support for Doug. Huge show tonight. You guys have been amazing. So I will announce tomorrow's topic as soon as I've got it. And until then, I will see you later. Oh, Talon Sear says, don't forget to update the GoFundMe message. You're right. I will update the GoFundMe message, but I'm probably going to do it on the 4th of July. Well, I guess it technically is. I'll do it. I don't know if I'm going to do it tonight because I got to go to bed and I got to think of a message to update. But yeah, I will update it like today, later today. You guys have a wonderful 4th of July. I will announce the stream when I've got it. Have a good night. Peace. SM Scork says Mars Girls stream with Medicare and Masterson, maybe with Micah Curtis, Lord Cat, and Iron Liz too. That's not going to be tomorrow, but we'll see. All right, guys. Blanking out. You guys have a fine night. I'll talk to you later. Peace.
So pour out an Ardbeg, a Baum, or a Lafroig. Spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea, post on Twitter as we hear Lost Planning tonight. From the white shores of Nan to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the throng better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have